Pups, what's going on? What's up? Where's everybody?
Look at you. You're running in circles. Which way will you turn? Look at you.
How you guys doing tonight? Dear Slayer, what's happening? Doctor is ready. We got a doctor in the house. Let's get this up here. You heard the man, Dear Slayer. Smash that like button, people. Emergency live, that's right. We got Ida, what's happening? Waldo, Kings Meadow, TS Pedro, how you doing? And Balto. Everybody got a drink? Everybody ready? I got anybody want to join, let me know. We got space tonight. I got Pedro's in the house. Pedro, come on in, man.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm good, and you, man?
I'm good, man.
You should be. Everything's pumping.
Everything's pumping. Everything we've been talking about for a long time is pumping.
Exactly. Or our friends in the chat doing? TS Pedro. I need to know that guy.
Alt season is kicking off. Alt season is happening. Actually, I can let that play a little bit. That down a little bit. Let me know if it's too loud. Alt season kicking off, man. This is crazy. It's just, I mean, we are primed and ready to go. Everything is about to go absolutely crazy. I hope that everyone has their bags packed. You should 100% have your bags packed. You should have done a lot of research by now. You should know how to position yourself, and you should be ready for anything. Let's see what's going on. Let's check our baby over here. Let me see. I told everybody, don't expect 1 penny. It ain't happening. Let's see. Hang on here.
It's coming.
You think it's going to a penny?
No, I'm joking. No, of course not. No, we might get a week there, you know.
You give it everybody.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
I think this is gonna hold. I think we do a little dip under here, and scare everybody out. Or maybe it's just like a double bottom. Maybe it's like that.
Wait. I think we might get like to these levels after we reach like 50 cents or $1. I think we're gonna see like a proper 90 to 99% dump, right? We'll need to scare a lot of people away.
We do. I think it's going to happen at when everything gets to sack price. So maybe pDAI will be at 5 or 10 cents at that point, and then you're going to get a big scare. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I bet more on 50 cents to $1, closer to the dollar level. I think.
Oh, there'll be another one at 50 cents, a brutal one there, right? Yeah. Yep. But yeah, you're right. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe after this, we just ride to 50 cents. You got to be ready for that. And you got to be ready for everything, right? Look, Ink. there was a big debate after the ink. We did the big ink special, and a lot of people were telling me it's going to break down, and I said I don't think it's playing out, man. It's not coming down to any low levels, you know. And we had definitely some bearish patterns, a couple of head and shoulders, but look what we have here. Now, there's a baby one in there. Maybe we get another drop again, but I feel pretty good about it. I think market makers are pretty smart right now. Whoever these big whales are. Let's see. I mean, that's some serious volume right there. But let's see. It could be an ABC. Could get another drop. I think us in crypto know we're ready to go nutso, but I think a lot of people are still. There's a lot of, you know. Let's see what BTC's up to. No, it's as soon as this settles. Oh, we didn't even go do my little thing here. Okay. But we did this and we came, and then people got the easy way. It just went ahead and broke right out for them.
It looks like 100K before Christmas. Do you agree?
100%. Oh, we're going to go right past 100K. We're going right past 100K. That's my feeling about it. I think it's going to just slide right past 100K. And then we're going to go to some obscure target. I don't know, 110. Who knows what it's going to be. You know, this is still in the cards. Like, guys, I want to say, like, this can still happen. You could get this here. We don't make a higher high. We come here. And that's maybe that final low, that final shakeout, end of week. Okay. So, you know, I had this here. I thought, you know, we'd get it wherever I had it. And, but maybe we still get it, right? It's possible. You hit the 21. And that would be extra scary now because we've gone up a little bit. And so maybe we come up and then we scare the living daylights and then we go. I would be ready for that too. This is almost too easy, but XRP was too easy too, so who knows?
I don't think we're gonna have another leg down before 100K. Doesn't feel like it, but again, I've been wrong way more often than I've been right, so it is what it is.
No, it's possible. I'm open for it. I'm ready for it. But dominance has fallen. It's completely fallen away. This might be like the retest of dominance. I mean, yeah, if this does run to 110, then I mean alts are moving. Look, I want to talk about, before it gets too late. I know for some of you guys it's not very late. It's like middle of the day. But I want to talk about the tweet. Okay, let's come back to it because people are still joining up. Let's see what chat's up to. Did I miss a lot of people here? Oh, Brad, what's up, man? Peter's in there. That scene from Interstellar, yeah. Oh, yeah, chat's running here. Saint, what's up, boss? Real millionaire boys here. Real millionaire boys, what's happening? What state are you in? You in America? I used to be in America. I left America. I live in Central Europe now, or Eastern Europe, depending how you look at it.
It's the best part of Europe, by the way.
Yeah, I love it here. I love it here. I was in Poland for a year too. That was awesome.
Me too. Nice. I was in Trójmiasto in Gdynia. North.
Yeah. I wanted to visit there. I didn't get over there. Cool, man.
Yeah, it was very good, man. I was working at Reuters at the time. It was a great experience. Like
at Hooters?
1 year and a half or something.
You worked at Hooters?
No, not Hooters. Reuters. Thomson Reuters. Hooters. That would be a disappointment.
So in Portuguese, R's are pronounced like H's.
Yeah,
so,
kind of.
Yeah, that's why I heard Hooters, but I knew. Yeah, like they say, like Rio, is it Rio de Janeiro? Rio
de Janeiro.
Yeah, only Americans we say Rio. You guys.
Rio. Yeah.
No, it's Rio.
Yeah, it's true. But Eastern Europe, bro. I lived in Romania too. Romania, man, it's fucking wild. I understand Andrew Tate, man. That guy's smart.
Romania is cool. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Pretty awesome, man.
Fat, what's
Awesome.
happening, man? Good to see you. Fat, you want to join in? Just let me know, brother. We got space over here if you want to join. We're in the arcade today.
Yeah, Gdansk. Yeah, Gdansk is nice too. Exactly. Nice.
Gdansk. Gdansk is awesome. Yeah. The Tri-City area up there.
Mm-hmm.
You like the chill beats? What happened to them? Where'd they
Oh,
go?
Perfect Cell is here, chilling G baby. I fucking love G baby. Let's go.
So happy to see his channel grow. New Wolfie would be big soon. Man, nice. Coming to visit in March, mate. All right. All right. Yeah. Why March, man? You know, I found out Prague is one of the top 3 holiday destinations in the world for Christmas, for like this time, because it's absolutely beautiful. Tell me your secrets. We have some secrets. We're going to drop. There's something. I dropped a video a few minutes ago, and we can discuss it, I think, in detail. I think it needs to be discussed. I'm curious to hear other people's opinion. I had like one of those like woke from like these stupid slumbers I've been having because I know we're all getting exhausted, but I hope Abdella makes it. And Fast Abdul, if you want to join, let me know. Did I put a link in the description? Yeah, Gdansk is awesome. It's
Yes.
just a cool city. I was there for a
Look,
few
I need
weeks.
to tell you a story about Gdansk. It's fucking
right.
wild. It's
Tell
fucking
us,
wild.
tell
Look,
us.
look, and this is real, man. This is at 100% real. I'm not shitting. I had like a guy I worked with in Reuters, and Mache was his name, and like he was into like double step and trans and all that shit, crazy shit. And then like one day he was like, hey, let's go out. I'm gonna have a wild party tonight. You need to come. And I was like, all right, sure, let's fucking go. I like parties, right? So
Right.
like we went to the middle of the city center in Gdansk. And there's like an old church there, and they were doing like renovations, right? So we just stopped near the church and we sit there for like 10 minutes. He had a bottle of vodka we're drinking, and
Yeah.
after a while he just bangs on the fucking shit. I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Are you crazy or what? And then somebody just like opens the metal things then, and we go inside. It was literally a dig, like an excavation on the old church, and we were like
Okay.
literally like blasting sound and drinking and partying near like the bones. It was fucking wild. It was insane, bro. It's crazy. That one.
There was a party in there.
Yeah, that like somebody like it was like the guy responsible for the excavation. He was leaving the project or something, and he decided to throw a party there. It was like 100% illegal, of course, but it was fucking wild, man. Amazing.
Nice. Yeah. People are really
Yeah.
cool. People are really cool. People are very cool up in Gdansk, and I think Wrocław is one of my favorite cities.
Sure, pretty awesome.
It's Ecam, Fast Abdul. But it's easy.
Ida nunca was born in Romania. Ce face dragul. I know a little bit of Romanian. I still remember. I think.
Zen Crypto, you're talking about. There's a link right now for the show. You're talking about Mike Inc. Yeah. We can go look at that chart. We can definitely go look at that chart. It just got squirrely. I don't know what's going on with that chart. I haven't gotten a chance to talk to Almighty, but I was a little bit concerned. I was like, what's going on here? Because it should have been moving with ink, and it was just something was really funny about the chart. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just like, okay. Yeah, let's go. So let me know. I'll wait for, I think, is somebody joining Fat Sammy or Fast Abdul, because I'm going to break into this tweet that I put a video out just a little while ago that I want to tell you guys about, and it may be an emergency. Well, it may be time sensitive is the best way to put it, but that was like 2 words versus 1 word in the description. So it is time sensitive because is it correct? Am I right? I don't know. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to spill it, and then you guys can tell me your thoughts about this idea. And we also want to look at.
Dude,
what
I'm
we're gonna
super
do.
curious to know.
Oh, Fast. Okay, so we're going to wait for Fast Abdul to join because he's coming for sure. So let's just let him join, and then we'll break into it.
Awesome.
In the meantime, we can go look at Mike Inc. You want to look at Mike Inc? Somebody's mentioning, but yeah, you do earn Inc. It's cool. I do have some, but what's going on with the chart?
Mike, yeah.
Sorry. I don't understand. With ink moving, why is it? What's it doing? This is just weird.
It's moving similarly to ink, I guess, no? More or less.
What's the liquidity at? 48K liquidity. 500K market cap. Nah, man. Something's not. I can't always put my finger on what I see in the structure, but okay, this is fine. We got this. Okay, I guess it hit that target. Okay, just draw this really quick. Let's see what we have here. I mean, yeah, I guess it hit it. I guess, and then this is just so droopy. What is happening here? What's the trading volume right now? What's going on? Volume is $2,000. For transaction maker, and we'd have to go in depth to look at it closer. I feel like this should have been moving with ink, and then when I see stuff like that, I get worried, and then feel like I want to know from like I'd want to talk to Almighty to be like, hey man, what's going on? These wicks are crazy. So you got, let me get out of here. Actually, I like to.
Doesn't look too bad.
No, it's above where it needs to be. Yeah, it's still holding up, but ink is ink's moving.
Ink is doing much better. Yeah. But it's like the discussion, right? Should you own the token or the derivative, right? It's the right because Mike is kind of like a derivative of ink, right?
Yeah. So shouldn't it be moving faster at a faster pace?
I don't know. Like do Maximus and all the Hex derivatives, do they move faster than Hex? No, I don't think so. I think they're lagging. They can move faster after, I think, but I think they're always lagging. But I could be wrong. There will be moments when they're not lagging, when they're like super unadjusted, right? When the ratios are just stupid because the market does stupid things, right? And they need to readjust. Like it happened a few times this year actually with DESI. I bought DESI like super cheap, and then it readjusted like immediately like 5x or something like that. It was crazy. So I mean, it's.
But this is a reflection token, and it's supposed to be bonded. Its biggest pair is ink.
Yeah, sure.
And these candles are. I don't like this right here.
Some sell pressure, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's above. I guess it's above some stuff. Let's see. Let's keep an eye on it. Oh, somebody's knocking on the door. Should we let him in?
Sure, of course. Obviously.
Let's let him in. Fat, what's up? Can you hear me? Do I have to sign him for it? You can't. Fat, what's happening? I don't hear you, bro.
There you go. There you go. Loud and clear.
Hello there.
Hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you guys hear?
Boys?
We're good. We're good. What's happening, man?
I'll just chill, man, and see what you guys are talking about and jump in.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about Mike Inc. and because it's supposed to be leverage play and it's bonded heavily with ink, and ink's moving and it's not moving because somebody asked in chat about it. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't. To be honest with you, I'm not sure about you guys, but there's so much stuff going on right now. And,
yeah, a lot of stuff.
it's so hard to keep up with what's kind of going on. But big shout out to you, Wolf. I was a bit dubious about the whole teddy bear position and also the pDAI position, but I listened to you the other week and I've jumped in and I'm glad I did, you know?
Hey, cheers.
Welcome aboard, baby.
Welcome to the winning team.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting with some of these smaller projects, like a friend of mine just launched this Pulse Litecoin thing, and we were just discussing the other day, like instead of doing the normal thing of just pairing yourself with PLS, if you're a smaller project, do something interesting. Maybe pair yourself if you've got a lot of pDAI or you've got a lot of ink.
Yes.
Yeah, just pair yourself with that and tap into that community. You know, it's interesting. Is that the main pull for this mic thing? Is the main pull with ink? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody asked about it in chat, so I pulled it up for a sec. But yeah, man, there's so much going on, and that's why you got to have your bags packed. And I've been very cool and calm because I feel good now watching things come around. And you know, when you've packed your bags correctly, you're like positioned well, and that's the key. You know, and actually, our ecosystem is just kicking off. So some people asked, "Am I too late?" And I'm like, "You're not too late. We haven't really run yet. You missed some, but the big run is still coming." You know, like XRP, like it's going to happen suddenly like that. So you still want to keep your bags packed. I think Teddy Bear, I didn't check. We can go look at what Teddy Bear is at right now. Is Teddy Bear running?
Like after that first pump, it looks like it's kind of consolidating the full flag, but to me, it looks like it's breaking out again, but I could be wrong.
We'll go look.
It's pumping.
Nice.
It's looking good.
Yeah, it's like that could be a bull flag, but that could have technically broken out. But if you discount the wick there, that big red wick, and you kind of do a bull flag from that green, you know, the first green one that pumped up before the red one, and you kind of do a downward kind of bull flag, that's technically a breakout, right? But it still needs to break above the body of that previous green, you know. So yeah, for me, I'm not worried about it. The way I've seen it perform recently, I'm pretty convinced that new people coming to PulseChain will be looking for a blue chip meme coin, and I think it's got that, you know.
Yeah. Let's see what the market cap. Dude, it's 83 million. Oh, come on, guys. This is going in the billions, into the billions. Landscraper, what's happening? Yes, the degens are here. We're just waiting for Fast Abdul. I'm going to break into some possible serious alpha. Okay, I put a video out. Look, okay, so Teddy Bear, check this out. So, you know, I got same thing on Ink. I'll show you where people were concerned about the Head and Shoulders, and I just chatted with the people that were concerned. Let's get past Abdul is here. Fast, what's happening?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're good. How are you?
Good. Just trying to figure out this new dashboard here. I'm usually a StreamYard guy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no worries.
Here.
If you got green, if you want a green screen, I can turn one on for you on my end, maybe.
He looks like the Riddler from Batman.
Yeah, you do. That's what it is.
I don't know. Was it the Joker? I don't know. It's like a mixture between the two.
Hang on. This is funny. Let's do it. Select
Make a
backdrop.
public service announcement about Fast Abdul. I'm pretty sure that he's a scammer because he's made me so much money. I'm sure he's got to be a scammer. I just haven't figured it out yet.
It must be a scam. Sorry about that, Sammy.
Oh, nice. It worked. There you go. Does that work for you, bro?
Yeah. That suits my wardrobe for today. Great. Thank you.
It does. Yeah. Perfect. Got him on Gotham City over there. Okay, cool. So yeah, there was same thing was happening on Ink with this Head and Shoulders, and then people were worried about a breakdown, but you can see, that would have been quite a serious breakdown over here. And I didn't think it was going to happen on Ink, and same thing happened on Teddy Bear. I would have taken you down to the point of control. It would have been quite a big mess. And look what it did, this fake out. It came down here, screwed everybody who was not waiting, because a lot of people I'm sure were waiting to DCA into it. And look, went right back above the support. I keep it simple, man. This was your support trend line, and we got back above it. We are bullish. This is going to rip up to the upside. And same thing happened over here on incentive. Where'd it go?
I'd say to people, your clue to that happening was there was clear hidden bullish divergence there. You saw that the higher high have a lower low on both of those MACD and the RSI. So for me, when I see that, you know it's going to take out the previous level high.
Yep. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You could go to the previous low there, back around the 25th or something, up to your right there. They're around there, right? And then you look at the MACD, get
Higher.
more sell pressure on that next low, which is higher. You also see the RSI go lower. So that you've got clear bullish divergence on both of those indicators, which for me is the thing I look for when going along on a token.
Oh, right on. Cool. I'll be honest. I look at this structure and I don't even think I checked it. Same on Inc. I felt like I didn't even need to. I just felt confident this wouldn't play out. And also here on incentive, I break this down to like the 4 hour. You know, we had big. You got head and shoulders all over the place there. I got small one up here. You had the big one over here. And, concern is obviously, this breakdown here. And I was confident it's not going to happen. You're not getting retest down there. Right? It'd be like there. Back to $3.
Yeah, I'm long on Inc as well.
Good. Me too. I'm big long on Inc right now. Big time long on Inc. What else?
Ink could be the spear. It could be where the SAC wallet flows into. We don't know. It would certainly have a positive effect, though. Like if Ink does a 10x in price before Pulse or PulseX, then more people will want to participate in the farms because the farms will do a 10x in their yield, which will result in people FOMOing into Pulse and PulseX and other tokens in the farm, and so on and so forth. Chain reaction. It's a good chain reaction token.
I agree. I think Ink has to be a big performer. It has to be. Linkstar, what will the price of Teddy Bear be at 1 billion market cap? Come on, Linkstar, you could have done the math for us by now. What is it? What would it be? Market cap. 10, what's that, a 12x? $3 billion. I think I think you're higher, 5 to 10 billion. But I think Pedro had even higher for this cycle.
Yeah, 50 billion at like minimum, I think.
I think it's possible. I do think it's possible. Because if we're going to run into this year and everything goes bullish, it's going to push up a lot higher than people realize. It's not going to be like a baby bull run. I think we're going to have quite an extreme one. And it gives them somewhere to go in this when the recession comes into play, whenever that is. Because they want to create enough chaos as possible. You understand how that is, right? That game works also politically, right? Putin just went bullish too. Do you hear Putin's thing? He said some positive things about Bitcoin just yesterday or today. I think they all know. They kind of like work together synergistically, right?
What did he say, Wolf?
He said that Bitcoin is it can't be stopped. That it's something to the effect of it's here to stay, and it's digital. Let's pull it up. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it.
While you're finding it, that would make sense, right? Because I can't remember. I was watching Fast Apple on the Matthew Allen show a little while ago, and one of the guys there mentioned the fact that this the US might be putting bids on Bitcoin, and it would make sense that countries like Russia start to try and sell that idea into their population to compete. So, I mean, if we start seeing
great way to bypass American sanctions.
Fuck.
That's probably what he's thinking.
Yeah, good point.
Jesus. Yeah, there's a cool video, but this kind of sums it up where he says nobody can ban Bitcoin. Crypto will develop one way or the other. I mean, he didn't come out and say buy it, but it was a very bullish kind of thing he said about it. If I can find the video. Jeez, I hate.
Did you see that news recently? It came out yesterday that the US government right now have transferred all their Bitcoin reserves to a separate wallet. So there's fears they're about to dump. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, I saw that. It was it's a lot of Bitcoin actually. It was a lot. I think sometimes they just do that to spoof, as a way of spoofing, right? Because now is the right time to shake people out because I think we talked about that earlier where, yeah, it could just push right up from here. But what if we did another come down here, either a double bottom or just a little lower, scare everybody out. Okay, until we break this thing, there's still a bit of uncertainty. This all-time high. I mean, it's...
Well, for me, the ideal situation is that we just kind of hold this range. We maintain the drop-off on Bitcoin dominance. We see the ETH to BTC ratio increase. We see the total market cap increase, the total 3 increase, which we're seeing all those things right now. And then we continue this 95 days of bull run, according to statistics. That's ideal. I don't really want Bitcoin to pump right now because that's going to take money away from ETH. So I'm quite happy with the current circumstances. But I'm not sure if you guys agree on that.
It could be new money coming in at this point, right? So everybody could be going up at the same time.
I agree. Yeah.
I think if we see 150K Bitcoin, then the flow into ETH when it happens would be much greater than at the current number.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're almost suggesting if we did see a general increase on on Bitcoin, that might kind of not give us the explosive growth on the altcoins that we would want right now, but overall it would be more beneficial in the long run, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if there's a 50% increase in the price of Bitcoin, like the price of Ethereum would probably increase from the current point too because of bonded liquidity, if nothing else. And then when there was an overflow from Bitcoin to Ethereum or an out from Bitcoin to Ethereum, then like it would have potentially 50% more bang to it. And then the flow into altcoins, a month and a half later would be, proportionally larger as well. That's what I'm interested in, these altcoins.
So BTC dominance falling off a cliff. Okay, we're gonna go into altcoins, and first, let me tell you what I talked about in this video. Everybody's here. You are so Gucci. I think this whole crew right now is super Gucci. I love we got Gotham City up top. Peter looks like the mad scientist. Fat Sammy over there, out in right field.
What movie is this?
What movie is this? That's right.
Could be
what
Batman.
you doing over there, Sammy? What you doing over there? I can fit some more people.
I'm shilling this space right now to all my non-crypto people. That's what I'm doing. But no, right. What I'm doing right now is I'm making a lot of fucking money. That's what I'm doing.
Sammy likes money.
All right, so
I'm just
Richard Hart put this tweet out October 22nd, 2023. All right, I got a lot of views. It was important. Now, you got to remember around this time, I think I was 100% already investigating pDAI. It had just done one big run up at this time. And I was researching Atropa, pDAI, a lot of stuff on the fringe at that time. And in this tweet, it was cool because you can see where the prices were back then. We're not too far away. You see Ink's $1.26. Okay, Hex is about half of what it is now. PulseX has moved a lot. And then he put up this chart. And I feel like there's something here I didn't get to in the video. I just put a video out a couple hours ago on this. And maybe there's something in the numbers, but I definitely caught that it was a focus on Hex. And that's what made me realize in the next tweet what mattered. Okay, let me tell you a really quick backstory. Abdella, he sent me this tweet a few months back. And as I had put out a DAI video and, it was still another like 700x to parity. And we just laughed about it and we're like, cool, you know, I think because by now Decentralized Me had also put out a lot of videos, right? Then yesterday he sends me the same tweet again, this one, and he goes, hey Saint, remember when I sent you this? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, why is he sending me again? I was like, all right, that's cool. Yeah, it's happening. I think we got a lot of consensus. It's really happening now. And I looked closer at it, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up with this like feeling of like, oh shit, it's right there in front of us. Now, of course, this is the main part of it, and the thing that we laughed about was that he had highlighted DAI, right? That was one of the things, but of course, back in October of 2023, maybe we didn't pay that much attention to it, right? Or some people did, right? And then what I really thought about was maybe he wants us to look at the Hex and Die. And maybe what he's saying is that he's going to peg DAI, and I always felt that something's going to lead the charge. And maybe the one that does the most X's isn't the one we think it is. Maybe it's Hex. Or it's like the biggest pairing for the collateralization. That could be part of it too. But I'm thinking maybe what he's saying is that Hex is going to lead the charge and it's going to do the most numbers again. So anyway, what do you guys think?
Well, my opinion, I've said it for 2 years now. Hex will be your best performer out of all the RH stickers. I still believe that.
For this bull run? Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah,
no, honestly, it's just because that is... Richard Hart is a very, how do I put this? He cares what people think, right? He doesn't need to make more money. He cares what people think about.
Right.
And all the hate he went through, right? If he doesn't print an all-time high, not only on eHex, and by the way, I'm not in eHex, but if he doesn't print an all-time high on eHex, let alone pHex, then he will be called a scammer forever.
Yeah.
So he needs to print a very high price, which can be clearly seen as, you know, much beyond 50 cents to redeem himself with all the criticism outside of our space. And that's my belief. That's why I believe that holding Hex should be your major blue chip.
100% agree with you, man. Like, you got to also think about it from a big money perspective. If you have your first project, let's say I have Tesla, and Tesla doesn't produce any income, like, you know, its cost is higher than its, you know, so it's not making any money by a lot. Like, if you think about the all-time high being 55 cents, we're still way below it. And then I come up and I tell you, look, man, I want to start a rocket company. You think you're going to be able to raise money? No, you got to show that the first one made it. So it makes sense to me, also just from just a basic marketing point of view, kind of basically what Pat Sammy's also saying. Hex needs to run hard and fast first and show, and then people really will notice PulseChain because they'll go, shit, this guy has done the unbelievable. He's done something we didn't think possible. I always felt Hex was going to run. I just thought, okay, maybe he'll run it at the end. But now I'm thinking maybe it's the next one to go. And not only will it go, maybe it does a 10,000x again from whatever that low was. Yeah,
the only way for total victory is, for example, I think of some of my friends who I naively onboarded with $10,000 and they bought Hex at 20 cents. And despite my advice, they staked it for 10 years. Those people need to be rectified. Those people need to see a higher high. And then the level of onboarding you will see will be colossal.
Are you 100%?
Simple as that. It's simple as that. People that bought the highs of the last bear market need to be in profit. It's simple as that. Otherwise, we're going to be limited on our onboarding.
Somebody says, personally, Linkstar thinks PLS will outperform Hex. I don't think so.
I'm sorry, that's so wrong. Did you guys see how expensive it was about 2 days ago to make PLS transfers? It actually got to a point where it was like, it was crazy. I can't remember the exact amount, but when we were pumping the other day, it was almost like
20,000 pulse per transaction. I see that as a bullish metric though, Sammy. You know, like I want pulse it to be like, you know, $50 in pulse per transaction one day. You know, I want Ethereum to be 1,000 on that day per transaction, but you know, we'll all be in a good place if pulse is $50 per transaction.
Yeah, I don't think we'll worry about gas fees. What do you think the price of Pulse will be if it's $50 a transaction? Can we calculate that somehow? Is there a way to do that with volume? And
as long as it's cheaper than Ethereum, we're fine, right?
well, if Pulse is $50 a transaction, Ethereum's going to be
yeah, 500 now.
yeah, some ridiculous. Yeah, Hex got it. Hex has to perform. Yeah, that's when you're going to turn heads. Sunny is LPing a PRC20 copy called Yay24 on PulseChain. Look at the original. He is. Okay. Is that a shill or is this alpha? The after hour show is when I'm tired, I'm done. I'm trying not to think too hard. I've done my thinking for the day.
I'll do the math for you. So if it costs, let's say, 500 pulse per transaction, which is sort of an average price for a swap, it's often much more than that.
Okay.
And right now the price of pulse is 4 zeros and an 8, right? Okay. So that would be 4 cents per transaction. So then we could take $50 divided by 4 cents is 1,250 X's times the current price of Pulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and an 8. Then Pulse would be 10 cents.
Wow.
To do a normal swap. There'd be 10 cents per Pulse, 500 Pulse per transaction. There we go. I guess I could have probably done that in my head. Oh well.
But it's like a tenth of the weight of Pedro's price target.
PulseChain $2.
Sounds good.
Can we have a quick look at the Tofux chart, because that's been performing very well, and I've got to say,
you guys can also share a screen too if you have something specific you want to shoot in here.
Yeah, but I'll just say, if you look at the Tofux protocol, I know obviously Fast Abdul's here, and I'm kind of soft shilling him, but as a token which kind of pays other protocols to kind of provide liquidity and lock up, you would expect it to be a very poorly performing chart. But what I've been surprised by is people are actually locking up their Tofux for the voting power, and it's actually performing extremely well. So I know Fast Abdul won't.
Tofux instead of Fux.
Sorry, Tofux, the Tofux chart. Yeah, it's performing very well. So this is a reward token which actually has an incentive for you to actually
V3?
hold it. Stake it.
Maybe V2.
Number go up.
Yeah, go on the daily there and have a look. I think it's doing very well on the daily or even the weekly. Have a look at the weekly.
Up and to the right. You can't do better than that.
Yeah, and surely that's supposed to be a dump token, right? But no. I think even people like myself in the Pulse Bitcoin community at the start were dumping it to buy more of their favorite token, but now people are starting to realize, oh, hold on a minute, I can get voting power here and increase my yield by holding on to it. And now it's actually something that people are actually buying off the market to actually invest in. So yeah, I'm very happy with
nice.
What's going on with Tofux right now.
Thanks, Sam.
I
think when you add utility to a token, it changes the story, right?
Exactly, yeah. So for me, as a reward token, it's a reward token, but actually has utility, and for me, it's the best performing one so far.
Decent
so the protocol is it's a place to farm and get yield, right?
Yeah, it's built on top of the Fux exchange.
Okay.
So the Fux exchange is very much part of it, though that's a separate team and a separate protocol. So Tofux is a fork of Convex, and it boosts your yield and your voting power. And the only thing you're voting on is which pool gets the most yield. So the power of the votes is very relevant.
Well, this is crazy. Oh, you get HOF. What's over here?
Yeah, so let me put it in a simple way. Let's say you're a small community like like our community, and you want to encourage people to provide liquidity. Most people aren't really going to provide liquidity, right? Because it's boring. There's not that many rewards. So with basically Fux and then Tofux, it's just basically a way that your users can almost have a staking mechanism through providing liquidity and get high returns. It's as simple as that. It's a nice plug-in to your community. It's worked for us very well. It increased our liquidity from 30,000 up to over 100,000 in a matter of months. And then people then have a reason to hold Pulse Bitcoin, for example, because they're getting paid a reward in Fux and Tofux. So basically, we've essentially got a plug-in reward token not inbuilt on our system, and it helps because usually when you have this sort of system, the reward token is dumping, but this one's not. So it's a very reciprocal relationship the Pulse Bitcoin has with Tofux because we both benefit each other, and that's the kind of full cycle we want to see in DeFi, which is hard to get, I find.
Thanks, Sammy. That was a great show. Couldn't have done it better myself.
Right, yeah, well spent. I told you $200 after, yeah.
Sam, are you holding a couple of Tofux tokens?
Well, yeah, I'm holding them. Yeah, for sure. I mean, because obviously I'm staking my Pulse Bitcoin because what's it doing sitting in my wallet? So yeah, I put it in this system and I get paid in Tofux. Before I was dumping it and buying more Pulse Bitcoin, but now I'm more educated on the system. I save my Tofux because it's an uptrend, so I'm getting more dollar value. But then I also stake it, so I get to then get voting power to then increase the yield on the Pulse Bitcoin farm, if that makes sense. So if you've got 9-inch guys there, Pokemon guys there, teddy bear guys there, everyone's competing for that yield, right? That high reward pool. So Pulse Bitcoin right now, they're getting over 100% for being in this pool in rewards. So instead of dumping your token to buy more Pulse Bitcoin, now our users are holding it, farming it for that voting power. That's why you're seeing this price of Tofux starting to go up.
And what's the relationship between the governance token and the reward token, the Tofux?
So they're one and the same in that the Tofux token, you receive it as a reward. You also receive the Fux tokens from the Fux exchange via the Tofux front end, right? So you're getting two reward tokens instead of one. Other people can farm on Fux, but they're getting half the yield. So, and then the Tofux token, you can then lock it inside the protocol on that lock page, and that enables you to vote, right? And then you're voting for these pools, and the pools with the highest APR tend to be the ones with the most votes. That's just how it works. So it's the best kind of democracy. So the yield token is the utility token for the ecosystem, one and the same. So if imagine if that happened with ink, what would happen to the price, right? But this is a little more complex, but it definitely works. So it's a fork of Convex, whereas Fux is a fork of Balancer. This is the high end of liquidity providing. So maybe not the first stop for newbies, but for the super users or people who've even just been around for 6 months, it's something you can probably get your mind around. And obviously, the yields are far and away better than anything else in the PulseChain.
Okay, so this is similar to I guess 9mm be the competition, and then obviously PulseX. Well, it's not similar to 9mm
competition in terms of that they're like those are dexes. Now we're not a dex. Fux is
you're not a dex.
9mm competes with Fux, as does PulseX and 9-inch, etc. But this is Fux is the only fork of Balancer on the chain, right? And so it's uniquely different in how it provides liquidity. Okay. 9mm, 9-inch, and PulseX are all forks of PancakeSwap V2 and/or V3. Right, so they have those mechanisms, mostly 50-50 liquidity pools. Fux, you can have up to 8 tokens in a pool, right? So you have liquidity pools with 8 tokens instead of 2, and the ratios don't have to be 50-50. You can have 1% in one token and 73% another. Any breakdown. So there's a lot more game theory that can go into it.
Interesting.
And part of that is it generates way more fees. When you create a pool with 8 tokens. It's like you just created 28 liquidity pools. It serves the function of 28 liquidity pools in one, and it collects the fees of 28 liquidity pools in one. So when you can then amplify those fees with the Tofux protocol to the user, because they're getting a larger share of those fees, the math is pretty good.
Right on.
So a little bit heavy, but it's like it is the cream of the crop as far as
it's not kind of user friendly for the newbies, and I've had this problem with my community is when I try to explain it is a little bit advanced for the average person. I'm going to try and do a bit more education on that. But let's just say, for example, you have a token or a community, and you don't have a full reward system or staking mechanism like some of these protocols have. Let's pick an example. Let's say you have a meme token like Teddy Bear, and I'm not sure Teddy Bear may have its own staking mechanism. I'm not sure, but let's just say you own something like Teddy Bear or Pulse Bitcoin, and there is no reward token for staking, for example. This is a system where you can basically take your tokens, put them in this protocol, and then almost have a plug in and play reward system that works for you. That's and what you're also doing is you're increasing your liquidity by doing so. The only thing that we do want to see in the future is, for example, if you search for Pulse Bitcoin liquidity right now, you're only going to see the 9mm, the 9-inch, the PulseX. But what a lot of people don't see is that we've got like 90k liquidity sitting over on Tofux. So one thing we really want to try and push in the future is trying to get Screener to start to show that liquidity that's on Tofux, because Tofux is a big player here, but it's just not recognized because you can't see it through normal liquidity viewing options.
You can see it on Gecko Terminal by CoinGecko, but you can't see it on Dec Screener. So that's something that we're working on to make it compatible with Dec Screener. But yeah, there's you'll see whatever $5,000 in liquidity for Tofux on Dec Screener, but if you look on Gecko Terminal, there's like $600,000 in liquidity. It's a very different story. So that'll be some work. But the Fux Exchange is, depending on the day, either the second or third largest DEX on PulseChain very consistently, usually the second. And yeah, it'd be great if that could show up on Dec Screener. I really wish those guys would get on that.
But I think the problem makes sense to Ethereum too, I guess, with Dec Screener not showing the liquidity from Convex as well. So
yeah. I think they do show balancer on Dec Screener, so they should be able to do that.
Does it struggle because
it wouldn't
of
be
the
Convex, it'd be Curve that has the liquidity and relevant to Convex.
Is it the technicality of the weighted falls why it doesn't show it fast up? Is that why? Is it because it struggles with the idea that you might have 80% of this token? Is that part of the reason why they don't show it?
It's with the V2 pools and V3 pools. They obviously have the technology. Anybody can run up like a Uniswap fork, and it shows it automatically. Like they don't even have to contact Dec Screener. It's just there. Mm-hmm. But like when you have an 8 asset pool with different ratios, obviously there's some more work that has to be done. Now Gecko Terminal and a couple other Dec Screener like products have done it. So I think they're just they're doing other stuff that's not their priority. But yeah, I'm sure they'll get around to it eventually. Once there's, instead of $20 million on there, once there's $400 million, they'll probably be more motivated to do so. But I will harass them constantly until they do. So that's what I'm doing after the show.
But we can just move to Gecko Terminal.
And Gecko Terminal.
Please share the link to Gecko Terminal in the chat, and I'll make sure we share that with our community. I didn't know about that one, so that'll be really useful.
You can see all your Pulse Bitcoin liquidity in Gecko Terminal.
Nice.
On the exchange. You're good. And that's realistically, that's the second or third biggest product of that type, right? Like, so what do we got? Like TradingView, Dec Screener, Gecko Terminal would probably be the third.
Dex tools, I guess, but
Sure. I haven't looked at that recently. I'll have to check to see if there's.
Oh, sorry guys, I had a quick question for one of my onboards. They were trying to buy eHex the other day, and I told them to go to hedron.app, and I understand it doesn't work anymore. Where's the best place to go to buy eHex? That's one of the questions I've got.
PulseX. It's where there's the most liquidity.
So you can't. So there's no way to buy it without going into PulseChain.
No, you can buy directly through 1 inch on. It goes through Uniswap, right? But I think the most liquidity is on PulseX, I think. So.
Yeah, buying it on PulseChain is probably, if they're moving any amount of money, that's where the liquidity is. But they could buy it on Ethereum.
The only way to get them into eHex is through the bridge, right? Is that correct?
No, they could buy it on Ethereum, but there's just less liquidity, so it depends.
Yeah,
exactly. What do you guys think?
How wealthy are your friends? Basically, that's the point, right? They want to move large amounts of money, like probably PulseX. If they just want to move a few $100, then Ethereum is okay, I guess.
eHex or pHex?
Bro, I'm like an EX guy, right? So I think it's gonna pump the hardest. It's
gonna pump the hardest.
Yeah, it's the most
because it
hated.
was down the most, or you just think it's still gonna
Yeah,
it's gonna pump the
I
hardest?
think like less liquidity, most hated on the most, etc. So yeah, I just think it's it's just poised to pump the hardest. But I've been wrong so many times.
Liquidity. I know, Sammy, you like Hex too, right?
For me, I believe in following the leader. So right now, I believe the focus is on pHex. I believe for the experts in this area, yes, of course, you're probably going to make some crazy X's doing the eHex thing. But I think the main message we need to push to new people is pHex. But yes, of course, you're going to make crazy gains on eHex. I don't think it's ever going to reach parity. I don't believe that. But yes, you're going to make a lot of money. But for me, the main focus right now is pHex. I believe that's where the sacrifice funds will be attributed to.
I agree with that.
What do you think?
Neither Maximus DAO tokens from Ethereum, I think, are the win. They've basically solved the Ethereum fee staking problem,
Okay.
and you can just buy them. And I like them on PulseChain too. So things that aren't Hex per se, but represent staked Hex. So there's the actuator protocol that recently came out. They have 3 different versions of staked Hex and a lot more. And then there's the Maximus DAO tokens that have been out for quite a while. They have 1 year, 3 year, 7 year, 10 year, and 15 year Hex stakes tokenized that you can buy sometimes at a discount. Like you can buy a 10-year tokenized Hex stake for cheaper than you can buy Hex that's not staked. The math is pretty good, and then that presents crazy yield farming opportunities where you compare Hex against Hex against Hex, and I like that too.
How can the math be pretty good? It's either good or not good, right?
Well, it can be more good or less good. There can be variables in the amount of goodness, but it is good. You're buying a Hex stake that's already underway that won't have an unstaking fee, right? Whereas like you can't have like $200. You could, but I don't recommend personally, not financial advice, that you have a $200 Hex stake on Ethereum set up for 15 years because it might be a $3,000 unstaking fee. We don't know, right? Maybe it'll be $2, but maybe it'll be $10,000 to unstake that in the future. But if you're buying a tokenized Hex stake that represents something that is worth millions and millions of dollars of Hex that's all staked together, that will all be unstaked in one transaction, and you'll get your portion. Like, I think that's the math there is much, much better.
Yeah, I personally know the developer and the guy behind it, and they are from traditional finance. If you actually go on their website, it's very impressive what they've actually built there. The only reason I didn't participate early on there is because the liquidity was so low, but I believe it's been increased now. But yeah, actuator finance is really, really what we want to see in terms of onboarding more traditional investors, the sort of stuff they're used to seeing.
And they have Actuator is the new player in the block. Maximus DAO is the old player, but an Actuator already has like $1 million in liquidity for their tokenized Hex stakes. So it's like, okay, this is rolling. And those guys are legit. Like, I know them, I talk to them, and they're docs, their faces are on the screen, and you can tell they're smart too. And I really like buying things from smart people who have a plan, and these guys have a plan.
But do you think the Heartman, he says he chose pHex. Do you think that was just part of his game mechanics in what he had to do to kind of add some, or do you think he genuinely was putting it out there?
No, he's being genuine. He's saying,
you think he's being genuine?
We did 10,000 X over here. PulseChain was built for Hex, right? The staking didn't work, right? The staking didn't work. The fees were ridiculous. We all know people like myself that bought high.
The fees are insane.
It was ridiculously expensive. I just went on Ethereum the other day. It's ridiculously expensive. So PulseChain was built on Hex. So of course, pHex is going to be his flagship. He's going to be able to say to everyone, "Look what pHex did. You had a free copy. Look what it's done now." And yes, I'm not going to say I don't believe it will do 10,000x, but what I'm trying to say is it's got potential to do crazy X's because it's a fresh start. It's a first wave again. So for me, again, of course, there's going to be intelligent people in this ecosystem that are making a lot of money on EHEX, but I totally believe, and you can bookmark this and see if I'm right in a year, but I believe that all of his money will flow into pHex. I don't even believe he's going to pump ink or any other shit. It's going to be all pHex, mark my words.
I disagree with that.
Let's hear it.
Because he has been shown to buy ink, right? So I think he's going to buy all the tokens, right? He's not going to focus only on one. My guess, right? I think X also has another problem, or not a problem, but I think it will have more sell pressure, at higher prices than EX. I think because EX, I think it was way oversold at like super low prices. So I think it will, probably you're right. It's not going to reach parity, but I don't know. It can surprise people, right? That's my only point. But I agree. I think like most of the focus will, of course, be in the PulseChain tokens, I guess, right? But again, because EHEX is on PulseChain, right? Most of the liquidity, so it's kind of like bonded anyway. So it's going to enjoy those gains, I guess.
Yeah, I don't mean to FUD. I'm sorry. I know it's a very contentious issue, and I don't mean to FUD. I'm just
we got to talk about it. No, it's got to be talked about, man. It's not contentious.
Yeah, exactly. It's not FUD or content. It's just like conversation.
He totally threw the baby out the window. Like it was intentional. He did do it. He did understand what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
However, like just off the top of my head, I can think of like 5 ways to fix the problem other than the way the problem is already fixed with the Maximus DAO tokens I've just talked about. There'd be ways where you could stake EHEX on PulseChain, like not in reality, but for the user experience. And then it actually happens on Ethereum. Like I was just on a stream, I was talking to Dip Catcher about it the other day, the guy who made Maximus DAO, and he's sharp, he does understand. And he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, we could totally fix that. We could have, instead of a 24-hour staking window, which is the timeline from when you make a hex stake to when it actually gets staked, you could expand it to 48 hours, have people stake together on a protocol on Ethereum that's initiated on PulseChain, so the user pays PulseChain fees, and then that's based on the group staking option. There's lots, or even just keep it on Ethereum and put a group staking protocol right into the front end of Hex where it gets filtered in together. Like you make a stake, and then that stake, instead of happening in that moment on that day, it happens once the quota reaches a certain amount. Like I could keep going. Like there's a dozen ways the problem could be fixed. Alex from Hedron supposedly is working on that, and he's deadly smart. So like I'm sure he could come up with a solution as well, where you could have some sort of mechanism on PulseChain that interacts with Hex on Ethereum. Like it is fixable, but I do think Richard made a public choice. However, the community is so strong, they could carry it if they want to, and they already kind of are, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alex already has a solution, by the way.
Build on it, right?
Yeah. Alex,
it's there.
Mm-hmm. He's the one building that giant warehouse. What's that thing he's building?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's he building? He's building something. I saw a video.
Yeah, he's got a warehouse full of servers to run nodes and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure that's PulseChain related. I don't see why he would need it to do like Hedron Icosa V2, which is what he's also talking about doing, which would possibly solve our staking problem. But like, I think he will probably use some of his warehouse full of servers to run nodes for the PulseChain and validators for the PulseChain. He seems to be, a big part of the infrastructure conversation for the PulseChain. So I don't think we've seen the last of him, but he's a real dev, so he's not going to be on the screen every day. He's pressing the buttons.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd just like to raise another point. And of course, I agree. I think, there will be people building functionality so those ETH gas fees for EHEX segments can be resolved without doubt. But this is something that I haven't heard many people talk about, and this is something that Richard kind of touched on in the past, and something I kind of experimented with when we had ETH, Bitcoin, and PulseChain version. Right, we had a split in the community, like a bit of hatred between people being accumulating on one side, getting frustrated that the other side was then being promoted. And what I think should be done is, do you remember in the past Richard Hart being frustrated on his streams saying most of the liquidity with EHEX, when that was the only one that existed, was being put with ETH. and he was trying to suggest to the community that they pair with a stablecoin, USDC, for example. The reason behind that was because he was saying that Hex would not retrace, that 99% where it was. It would hold its value a lot better than the other tokens, and he was frustrated. If it was paired with USDC instead of ETH, it wouldn't have taken that huge hit like all coins do in the bear market. So I think a good way for Hex on the ETH side to move would be to remove wrapped ETH liquidity and pair itself with a stable token. And then what that means you could do is, when the bull market and the altcoin season is over, whether it be July or November next year, and everyone's basically selling, you've basically got 6 months of doing nothing, waiting for a bottom. Wouldn't it be better if you could take those profits over to eHex, not be pulled down by the market going down with wrapped ETH, and be tied to USDC? And we saw this with PLSD in the bear market. In the height of the bear market, when every other token was going down, we had all our liquidity tied to USDC, and we had an uptrend. We did a 9x 4 times. So that's what I'd like to see with eHex. I think eHex can be the bear market place to make money, when you're in the bear market. So it's just an idea.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I think probably the issue, let's say, with Hex is just, let's say the inflation, or the people who got the tokens, they just wanted to sell, right? So I think that might happen again on the next bear market, I guess.
Selling has benefits too, right? Like if they sell it on PulseX, they're bringing PulseX. They're making fees for liquidity providers. So I think there's parts of the game that people are going to play. Some people are going to probably keep their liquidity positions in things like Hex and eHex all through the bear market, and those people in the next bull market will likely have a much larger unit count of eHex than they have right now, or pHex. There's liquidity games aplenty on this kind of stuff. Most people just don't have a long enough outlook to realize the gains on those things.
Yeah, I've been doing that with X, because I think it's the only way you have to accumulate both Hexes, actually, without staking them both in each chain. Yeah. So I think it's the best strategy. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, you can
have eHex paired with pHex, and you'll probably end up with more of both in the end.
Sure, exactly. Depends on your time frame, obviously, but I agree, right? If you have a long enough time frame, 100% you're gonna end up with more. There's no other way. Yeah.
Super Merc. Man, this is funny. Look,
those are some of my best farms.
We got the. Well, Super Merc, why are you watching a PulseChain video, man? Let's go look at the ecosystem. The ecosystem's doing amazing, bro.
Yeah, I think the ecosystem is going places. Actually, it's the opposite of nowhere.
I think it's doing the opposite of going nowhere.
Exactly.
Let's go to where's the.
Yeah, Super Merc, if you want to expand on your criticism, please let us know. But no, honestly, look, all due respect, it would be nice to know what you mean by that.
Yeah, exactly.
We can just go to PulseChain bubbles. Hang on, let's see what's moving.
Excellent.
Are we up here?
Well, I'll tell you what's been moving, VeChain. VeChain has really been going crazy. I got myself in a nice position a few months ago. I sold too early, but man, that thing is flying right now.
What's this one? I've never seen this one before.
Also, some of these copies on PulseChain, like even Pepe copies on PulseChain, they're doing well.
Which one are you looking at? Speak? I know that one.
Stick. It's pumping nice.
Speak. What's that? Let's see if it's the same.
It's like a betting protocol where you can place bets on what you think is going to happen in the future. So I think what's called on Polygon, the big one they have, Poly Market. So it's kind of like a mini version of that.
Oh, where'd it go?
Yeah, and if you look at Matic, for example, against, USDC, for example, they took a brutal hit. They were down 99% recently. I've got friends that were in Matic, and it was almost looking like it was dead. And it has bounced very hard. They're now back up to 61 cents. So it just shows you that even kind of a protocol like that, a chain which seems like it's kind of drifted into kind of obscurity, it's really performed very well in the last few weeks. So I think we're going to see something like that with Ethereum.
Yo, what's this? This is a betting market. Why didn't I hear about this? This was cool. Will Eric Walt lose a bet to KDP? It's 50-50. With the volume, only $3 of volume. No one's using it right now. This is cool. Case dismissed.
We should have streams by January.
Let's see this.
Come on.
Okay. So tell me some data on. There's just nobody playing right now, right? Where'd you say, Richard?
Yeah, but the UI UX looks good.
Yeah, it does. It does. It looks
feels
cool.
like Polymarket. It's nice.
I like it. I like the vibe. It's cool. People will use this. If I come here, okay.
This one was a long time in coming to fruition. It just got launched, but it was actually one of the first sacrifices on the PulseChain. Like first,
really,
first 7 maybe, first 5. Like it was very early. Okay. It was a very small sacrifice.
People are not coming over. Look, let me tell you, people are going to come over. They're going to beat the door down to get in. Okay, they're going to need a bigger bridge. All right. Because, I mean, to some extent, I think things are going to move, but the real movement's going to happen when the case is dismissed or there's something. And I think it's going to slowly move up until then. And then when people come over, we're going to be at sack price by then when the case, whatever happens with that. And no one's interested in bridging over. Trust me, man, they're going to come over. There's going to be changes to the incentive farms. There's going to be Hex will be, who knows what the thing is going to be. I mean, that's why I was bringing up that tweet with the Hex that maybe pDAI, first of all, pDAI going to parity, if you don't think that's going to blow up the internet and crypto, you're absolutely insane. It's already making the rounds. Ivan has been talking about it. Ivan just put a tweet up where he said, he asked his community, should I buy to pDAI? Right? Isn't that what he said? Should I ape into pDAI? All right, Ivan's talking about it. Obviously, Eric Wall, trust me, it's going to move right now. You should take this seriously. This drawdown we're in right now is a gift.
It's very stupid to be against
pDAI. The 5th highest chain for total value locked, according to CoinGecko.
Yeah, we moved up to number 5. Go hang on.
Exactly. Our TVL is the important thing here, and we are seeing money coming into PulseChain. We are seeing massive money coming to PulseChain. We just saw, I think, $600,000 from one wallet coming yesterday and caused that PHEX pump. I know for myself, sometimes you got to remove yourself from the macro and look at your own life.
Yeah.
Are people, your friends, starting to pay more attention to PulseChain? For me, they are. They're interested in coming in. And then what do we couple that with? Well, we look at the PHEX pump yesterday. This one hasn't been sold off. Have you noticed that? We've gone up to 2.8 cents and it's holding. It's ready to move up. Why? Because we all know we're in potentially, according to market cycles, a 100-day pump on altcoins. So when you're seeing VeChain go up, 50% a day, 40%, all these other tokens going up, do you think for a second that the Hex people are going to allow Hex not to pump? Do you think we're going to sit here on the side and not do it? I mean, guys, getting to 10 cents is nothing. It's bare minimum, right? We were sitting at 10 cents for months in the bear market. It's like, I think people need to kind of just refresh, get rid of their PTSD, and have confidence. Sit there in your PHEX, have a good position. Yeah, and of course, do some degenning. I don't believe in the pDAI situation. I don't believe Richard Hart's behind it. I know that's controversial.
Tell us why not.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you just a quick question, man, because I really if you imagine, let's say you're gonna fork a network, right? And you're gonna create the copies of all the tokens, right? why would you not want like the coins to be worth the same or more, like pDAI to peg, etc., right? I don't get it. Like, why would we go to all the trouble of forking, Ethereum, copying all the tokens just to be so the tokens would be worthless? I don't get it. I don't understand that, honestly. Like, to me it makes no sense, right? If I were Richard Hart, of course I'm not, right? I'm way more retarded. But if I was gonna copy another, like, it makes no sense for me to not care about the prices, right, of the tokens I'm copying.
Of course, everybody would want the tokens to be at parity. Like, why would you not, right? But wanting and taking actions to make it a reality are two different things. So yeah, I want everything on the PulseChain to do a 10,000x, because even whether it's touching my bags or not, if pDAI goes to $1, what do you think that's going to do to the price of Pulse, the price of Hex, the price of Bank, everything, right? If pDAI goes to $1, maybe PUSDC goes to $1. Like, the math on that is ridiculous. Like, it'd be a crazy amount of money on the chain. Like, I did the math the other day. It would put us just under Ethereum for total value locked. Oh, no, we're above Ethereum. We're just under Solana. So like, it would be huge, right? But like, the reality of this situation is somewhat speculative. I think that's kind of what Sammy's getting at. We don't know for sure what's going to happen with this.
So what do you think? You're just kind of on the fence about it, or do you feel one way or another about it, Fast?
Well, I don't think Richard Hart is behind most of these details myself. As far as could it happen, like, sure, lots of things could happen. I think like, if the MakerDAO contract and the DAI contract works on the PulseChain, which is not a given. Like, the PulseChain has variables that means that everything doesn't just work if it's copied from Ethereum. Like, all the forks from Ethereum need to have tweaks in order for them to function properly. But if that stuff does work, then yeah, the Maker protocol is set up to manage the DAI protocol, and you could collateralize that. But the math on what it would take to have a over collateralized stablecoin based on a Maker fork is pretty crazy. So if, for example, all of the SAC funds went into that endeavor only, all of the ETH that Richard holds was spent on that. ETH would have to go to 55,000 per ETH to fully collateralize pDAI.
I've heard this argument before. But you're just assuming it's only ETH.
It's just that's the information, right?
Right. Okay.
I think all Fast Abdul and I are trying to say, because we are in agreement on this, and I think what we're trying to say is, we don't know. Richard could be totally, trying to achieve that goal. I think all we're trying to say, some of the major influencers, one of the biggest influencers, begins with S, I won't say his name, is kind of trying to convince the whole community that this is RH's plan. And I think all we're trying to say is, people a lot smarter than I am are trying to kind of say, listen, it's a big achievement and it would require a lot of economic energy. So all I would say, I have bought a bag, but I would say there are some people right now in the community that are so desperate to make huge gains with a small amount of money that they're literally putting 50% into pDAI, 50% into Hex. And all I would say is, if you were a betting man, surely it would be better to put your money, I would say 80% into pHex, which Richard Hart is behind and wants to win on, and put a speculative amount on pDAI. That's all I'm trying to say. Is I just don't want new people coming to this chain and just putting everything on this pDAI thing, because we don't know for a fact that Richard has a plan for it. That's all I would say. I'm just trying to speak against some of the euphoria that we're kind of experiencing right now. And also, let's cut the shit. We're seeing, I think Hex would be a lot higher right now if pDAI was not so popular. Sorry to...
I don't know about that. Oh, well, Pedro, tell us what you think about what they said, and also what Fast was talking about. The Ethereum would have to be at 50,000. What are your thoughts on everything?
I mean, I think it's like what's the pDAI supply, like 22 billion or something? Is it's something around that, I think.
It's 22,
So
23, yeah.
yeah, something like that. So I mean, look, there's there's lots of ways for for the pack to happen, right? And I'm not even assuming it would need to be over collateralized by 1.5, so 150%, for example. And again, we don't know which collateral is going to be added. So I mean, there's lots of assumptions. I mean, yeah, like Abdul's math is right, but we could add other collateral that would probably lower them or make it easier to achieve those targets. Let's say
this is an immutable contract, though, right? Like it's something that can't necessarily be changed. I haven't done a full deep dive on.
But wait, what can't be changed? Which one?
Like the collateralization level.
No, I'm not talking about the collateralization level. I'm talking about the collateral, like the tokens, the collateral tokens. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Supposedly that could be changed.
No, that can be changed.
The amount of money is still the same that you'd need to do the job, right?
Yes, but but it's the economic energy, right? Like in terms of effort, right? Because it would be different if you had to collateralize it with Ether, right? Or with Pulse or with pDAI, or right? So depending on the token, it can be harder or it can be easier, right? To collateralize pDAI.
But still, let's say you could collateralize it with Hex, which I imagine was probably one of the items on the vote. So you put Hex into that contract. Now, who would have to put Hex into that contract to have enough Hex in there to fully collateralize it? Which wallet would have to do that? Well, it would have to be the OA wallet, right?
Yeah.
So and then all that Hex is in the contract. And the way it works, the reason it's a stable coin is because it has a redemption function, meaning that people would be able to redeem their pDAI for the Hex contract.
So no, but they wouldn't redeem the pDAI against Richard's Hex. That doesn't work like that, because each vault is personal, right? So imagine Richard would create a vault, right? I mean, theoretically, he could lose his Hex if the price went down, blah blah blah. All that, through liquidations. That's what I mean, right? But let's forget that, right? I'm not assuming that Richard wants to put collateral just to lose.
Where does it go?
No. Forget it in the sense in the sense that do you think Richard is going to add collateral just to lose the collateral through liquidations? That makes no sense, right? Right. That's why I'm saying forget that, because that's the only way you can access his X, right? There's no other way, because the vaults are personal. That's what I'm saying, right? So if I had collateral, the only way I can lose my collateral is through a liquidation. Nobody else can just go there and take it, right? Only through liquidation. But for liquidation to happen, there are certain variables that need to meet, right? The criteria, like the price going down, etc. Right? The price of the collateral. That's what I mean. So that's why I'm saying that it might peg due to liquidity, for example, not really due to collateral, because again, there's 22 billion pDAI, right? 22 billion. So, and those are not redeemable. Those are not redeemable. Whether we like it or not, those are not redeemable, right? Right. So, they might be through liquidations, but that's why I'm saying forget that. I'm this is a bit against the pDAI narrative.
There's no value yet to any of it.
You could seem against, but it's not, because I think that amount it can go to liquidity pools, get burned or locked, etc. Or can just go to liquidity, right? And so I mean, in terms of probabilities, right? Again, it's hard, right? I kind of agree with them in the sense that it's much safer, of course, and much logical if you're going to allocate money, just allocate to tokens that you have a higher probability of going up, in the sense that you can assume with a higher probability that Richard is going to buy them, right? But I agree with that logic. Sure, I understand the logic, and I kind of agree with that. But in another way, what's
your name again, sir? I forgot your name.
Me? Yeah, sorry, yeah. Pedro.
Peter.
Yeah, Pedro. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sorry, Peter. So what I'm trying to say, let's say you got a new on board, one of your friends, and they said, "Listen, I've got $10,000, and I don't want to lose it." It's like they all say, and they kind of go, "Oh, I don't want to be too high risk, but we know going into PulseChain is high risk." And they said to you, "Okay, where should I allocate my funds?" What I'm trying to get at here is, yes, for the experienced user, pDAI is a good play, but like we said with eHex, would you agree with me if you had a friend of yours who trusted you and didn't want to get wrecked? Would you agree with me on putting most of that money into EHEX as opposed to pDAI? Because would you agree with me that pDAI is a leverage play, basically? We'd agree on that, right?
But wait, are you comparing pDAI to Hex or to EHEX?
Yeah, I'm saying as a new user coming in, what I'm trying to say is my fear at the moment is that a lot of people are getting influenced by your friend Somi, who, by the way, I'm not disparaging. He's one of the best people we have shouting out from the rooftops, and I'm so glad we have him. But I'm saying that some of the new people that might see his stream right now, you're seeing more pDAI posts than Hex posts, and my concern is, we're putting words in Richard's mouth, and who knows? Let's say the court gets dropped, and suddenly he comes on stream in a few weeks and goes, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? I'm not behind this." So what I'm trying to say is we're gambling right now, right? So I'm saying,
but wait, but he's gambling that he's going to buy the token.
We don't know yet.
No, but
we don't know. We don't know.
It's the same thing Fair as enough. Me saying like we're gambling that he's going to use the sacrifice funds to buy his own tokens, right?
Yeah. That's a great point too. Yeah.
We're gambling 100%. On that, right?
You are. Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing in that sense, right? I think both are riskier. If you're here since X, of course Hex is gonna sound like sounder, right? Safer. I understand. I've been here, right? So I understand what you mean, but because I don't know the future, I really don't know which one is going to pump the hardest and if pDAI is going to peg, right? But that narrative is so strong, right? And I see so many reasons for Richard to be behind it somehow, only in the sense that he built the token, right? He built pDAI in the sense it's his token too, right? So, I mean, I don't think that he would create the token just it exists and it's going to be abandoned, right? So I think somehow he kind of thought of it, right? So, but it's a belief. Of course, it is a belief.
Listen, you guys have seen that interview, right? XBlind brought up when RH interviewed McAfee, he had an aha moment when they spoke about DAI, as if his light bulb came on. I've definitely watched that a couple times. Have you seen that,
yes.
Fat?
Sure.
Yeah, and it's great for onboarding. I saw some of the conversations that even Eric Wall was having. But Wolfie, you've got 150 people in this chat right now. You can actually put a poll in your YouTube chat, and you could put a simple poll and say, do you believe RH is agreeing with the pDAI peg? And let's see what the audience thinks. I think that'll be a very tight race.
Is it here? Right? Engage with the audience.
I think we'll probably get 50-50 on that one.
Start a poll. Okay.
I think people probably think that he's not behind it, right?
Is RH?
I think, to be honest with you, I think you'll get 60% agree that the pDAI.
It depends who's in the chat.
Yeah. Sure.
We got a good mix.
Exactly.
Listen,
okay, guys, I put the poll in.
Cool. Curious to see how that turns out. I'm not opposed to pDAI. I really enjoy the action on the chain. I have like pDAI farming pools on my protocol, and like the fees are like hilarious, right? Like it's great. Like I have pDAI, I got Atropa, I got Teddy Bear, all that stuff is on there, and it's generating insane fees. That's fantastic for like my community and for the Pulse chain in general. So like, okay, that's good. There's economic energy. It's drawing attention from other chains. That's good. I just think there might be some more technology required to make this happen. And, it could be something where, like somebody who understands the code could step in, and we could have, pDAI's little helper. More announcements on that later, maybe. No guarantees.
Okay, just to go back one sec to the collateralization, and I agree with you. Possibly there may be something else, and I mentioned that the other day. Even with there may be more redundancies needed, some more things to come back to help it. But isn't the collateralization, if you imagine the prices we have now at 10x from here, isn't that more than enough to collateralize pDAI? Why do you need?
If the entire chain was put into that contract, perhaps.
Yeah, the OA for the chain. Yeah.
No, not the OA. The whole chain.
Oh, okay. All of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So or the OA perhaps, like if that he bridged that Ethan, that's a part of it, but it's not enough to 100% collateralize it, right? At $1. If there was options within the MakerDAO contract to set a peg at 10 cents, like something like that might be manageable. I suspect that's probably not a choice, though I don't know that for a fact. But like I think there would have to be a workaround to peg a portion of the supply somehow. And I think I have a couple ways to do that. So we'll explore those options and see if the community is interested. But like there's like it's got to be the tech, right? It can't just be the desire. It can't just be market force, because the amount of money required to pump it up and keep it there is too much money right now. But it's not impossible, and I think with the right blockchain magic, maybe it could be pulled off. But yeah, I'm not counting on it to magically happen. There's no magic bots. There's no free money. Eventually, like, there has to be a counterpart essentially on Ethereum, and then in the real world, fiat currency, cash money you can put in your pocket for every dollar worth of pDAI that is a dollar, right? And that does not exist right now. So, you know, if you can get to that, like a stable coin has to be stable. And sometimes when you say like, oh, like maybe pDAI will hit $1, people tell you it could go higher. Well, if it goes higher, it's broken. Like that, this is not a success. So if the contract works and it can make it to $1, there's going to be a serious in between time where it doesn't make it to $1. Like this is not going to happen by Christmas. But like there could be workarounds where a portion of the supply is backing $1 in such a way that, you know, people could bolster it so they could move up in stages instead of all at once. And I need to do some more math, and I got to talk to some more devs, but I think I might have the answer.
I'm glad that a lot of people are shit testing it right now. Like it's really cool.
I want to be wrong about this, right? I want to be wrong about this. Of course, I would love it to happen. I'm just trying to exercise caution. I'm not trying to FUD. I agree that it would be the most bullish thing for PulseChain. I think it's
moderation. Yeah.
Don't you think it's necessary? Don't you think it's necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, but I think it'd be the best booster we could ever ask for. Of course.
How can you say it's not necessary though? That's a point I don't understand. I'm not. This is like you can separate it from whether it's possible or not, but don't you think it's absolutely necessary to have an independent DeFi chain that's free, tetherless?
I think it's something which would be a huge bonus to the ecosystem, but I don't think it's necessary in this short window of time we have for this altcoin season.
I can understand
in this run,
that.
But yes, I do believe it's necessary in the long run. Yeah, I do. Whether it's achievable with the economic energy we have, that's my question. Whether Richard Hart is fully behind it, that's my question. I'm 100% on board with you guys. I told you a ball bag. I really want this to happen. No. I'm just trying to exercise caution. I'm not that smart on this stuff. I do more fundamental analysis. I'm really not the best person. Like your two other guests here are far more qualified to talk on this point. But from kind of like this kind of narrative of Richard Hart being behind this, I'm not 100% convinced. That's what I'm saying.
So there's definitely a lot of footprints now. Whether they are his or not, that sounds like there's a debate. But there's somebody's leaving clues all over the place. I think.
But look, guys, Richard Hart is behind pDAI because he's behind all PRC20s. That's my point, right? Literally my point. So I think, I think that that's going to be proven like at some point, right? Eventually, right? We'll understand if that is true or not.
It can't be magic, though, right? Like. We can't say that every PRC20 is going to peg to the Ethereum counterpart. Like it'd be half the money in the world, right? Like, you know, or on the blockchain. Like it's the math doesn't work. But with like, you know, concerted effort, like many things are possible. But I just don't like people thinking that everything is, you know, there's magic bots that are going to make it happen, and you know, this is Richard's dream.
But I actually think there is. Actually, I think Ink is going to be the magic.
I think we have magic bots. We have magic bots.
We have magic. Like I think Ink is going to be that magic. Like once, like if we see the PRC to DRC20 pairs again or whatever, I think that could be like the only catalyst that you need for
you call it magic. I call it math.
But I mean, it's only a question of liquidity, right? At the end of the day.
But liquidity is money. So like it's mass money, dollars and cents, and or protocols that do things that make stuff happen on the chain that like influence users to take certain actions, right? And if they take those actions in sequence, the right number of people with the right amount of funds, like you can do a lot of things, right? But like, you know, it's not easy. It's not free.
Yeah. So if the Heartman's watching, not this stream, but just in general, all this pDAI stuff happening right now on either side of the ticket. Obviously, if he's behind it, then he's got a certain vibe. But if he's not behind it, what do you think he's thinking about right now? Is he thinking, how do I pop this bubble?
I think all he's concerned on right now, I see some people in the chat kind of saying, why are we arguing about this? But for me, this is refreshing. I'm seeing so many streams of pro pDAI, and then in Telegram, I'm seeing kind of some people just FUD it. So I think it's important we have this conversation. But to move on from that point, what is RH thinking? I think what RH is thinking right now is he's twiddling his thumbs, thinking, what the hell happens with this court case? And that is the elephant in the room. I'm really bullish on this. It could be in a matter of days that we get an update on this. So I think that's the real thing we should be focusing on right now.
He's thinking about how we're all idiots.
I think he always thinks that, probably.
He probably always thinks that.
In this situation, we're ants.
He has all the information, so of course we are idiots compared to him, right? He knows everything, basically. Yeah.
But again, the important thing is, even for someone like myself, and I see people like T-Bird, these real hex maxis, who I'm kind of falling in line with here. Listen, the pDAI thing, whether you like it or not, even if you hate it, it's bringing massive attention and conversation.
Massive attention. Massive.
And that's the takeaway.
It's right now. It's just the greatest meme in history.
Right? The things are complementary. That's what I think that this is the right approach, is to not think of everything as like they're competing for all the liquidity. That's like bear market, like mentality, like PvP mentality. We're competing for the same liquidity, same dollars, just rotation. Yeah, sure. That happens during 3.5 years, 3.5 years. But then during 6 months, you actually have like new buyers coming in and new liquidity, and everything will be pumping. That's my point, right? So they can competing like they compete. We know for the limited resource, which is the new dollars. But they're also like pumping each other somehow, right?
Yeah.
Because they're just like creating new narratives for the chain, and that's a good thing, I think.
Come on, listen. Let's cut the shit. Let me give you an example. Let's just say PulseX didn't exist, Pulse didn't exist, Incentive Token didn't exist. Let's just say we went back and we just had one Richard Hart product and its name was Hex.
Okay.
That price would be fucking through the roof right now. But yes, right now we've had an upgrade to our system. We've had a huge upgrade. Of course, I'm so glad that we have PLS and this whole new ecosystem, this better chain. It's going to be far more beneficial in the long run. But in terms of price action, if we just had Hex right now, even on that shitty, expensive Ethereum chain, PulseChain never existed.
There's plenty of capital
right now.
It's all waiting on the sideline. Trust me, the real money isn't going to touch it till this case wraps up. And there's massive flows of liquidity that are going to pour in when the case wraps up. Yeah. There's so much. There's plenty to spread around this whole chain into the heavens. It's crazy. But people just aren't going to touch it till the case wraps up. It's just the degens that are here right now, to be totally honest. It's a risky place to be. And the second there's news about the case wrapping up, the second it happens, the bridge is going to go nuts. It's just going to...
I think if the case wraps up, or even part of the case wraps up, let's say just Hex, because that's part of the discussion, is that Hex could be thrown out and the other ones could be kept in, which in some ways could be a best case scenario because it would give him an opportunity for multiple wins over the course of 6 months. But regardless, if one of the things is thrown out and then his lawyers then advise him, okay, you can talk about this thing, and he comes back to work. Richard coming back to work is the bullish moment that I'm waiting for, to roll in my house money, to sell my dog and my snowmobile and all my diamonds and roll it into PulseChain, right? And I think that's going to be huge because the guy is good at that job. He's a good front man, and we are really missing them. And there's like other leaders in the community that have certainly stepped up, right? Like we're all on the stream here. We've stepped up, but we are a poor replacement for the RH man.
I don't think he's coming back, man.
Yeah, this is another interesting.
Sorry. For a little while. I don't think so. I think I agree with you. I think it would be extremely good for the price action, but I don't think he's coming back. I think he learned his lesson.
He learned his lesson.
That's also possible.
I'm not saying he's not going to show in a video like he did on PulseChain launch, right? Like 1 minute video. Congratulations, you're awesome. Boom, done. Right? That's sure, but like he's not going to stream again. I think maybe interviews on television.
He didn't, but he made things happen in the background, right? Because I'm in all the cabals, I'm in all the guilds and all the clans, and He's in some of them technically, like his avatar and his former Telegram address is there, but he is not verbal. He does not communicate. He does not participate. If that changed in those cabal rooms, if he started like making modifications to PulseX to make it what it could be, if he made Ink the voting token for the PulseX ecosystem, like all these things that are don't necessarily have to be public, and he doesn't have to go on screen and talk about it because other people will. We'll do that for him. That would be almost equivalent to him being on the screen, selling the coins I like every day. But like there is a lot of things that could improve on the PulseChain. There's a lot of management that could happen in the background for all kinds of details, and there's a lot of funds that could be deployed to make some things better. Things we see on other chains, grants for builders, this like sort of pro education programs, all that kind of stuff is literally 100% community funded, right? Like there's like the PulseChain Foundation, they got PulseChain on a centralized exchange, which we could argue whether that was good or bad, but it was like all the Builders Guild basically threw in all the money. It was like 80K, 100K or something. They came from like the protocols that are on the PulseChain. Like, okay, well, Buck threw in 40 grand and I threw in much, much less. And, Jesse threw in this, like that's who paid for that stuff, right? And other parts of the community pay for other things, 100% community funded. Like what you could do for marketing with $1 million, like a drop in the bucket as far as RHS bags are concerned, for the PulseChain would be huge. Like everything is community driven. There is so much that could be done, even if he never goes on the screen again, if he was just present, participating, and supportive.
Yeah.
But
I agree
feel
with that.
like he can't do that right now.
I don't think
100%.
he's doing that.
I think we have to all operate under the assumption that Richard Hart could drop dead tomorrow or never appear on stream.
Exactly. No, exactly. 100%.
If you're going to drop your bags
and
be afraid of that happening, then this is not the right chain for you. Of course, Richard Hart right now is a plus for us. He is our leader, but at the moment, we have to operate as if he's not coming back.
He's our leader.
And I still think if he never came back and those funds never got deployed, I still think we will be a huge success.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why everyone should. Yeah. Right now, St. Wolf should have double the subscribers he's having right now.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
We have to share our
man. You should have 1 million subscribers.
100%.
Yeah, but and look, I actually don't think he's going to launch any of that new stuff like next year or so, because he's like traditionally launches stuff during the bear market, right? So why would he change that?
I think there's different things at different times, right? Like recently we had an upgrade to PulseX where they incorporated stable coins, like stablecoin LP, where you can pair DAI with USDT and USDC in one LP token. That's a fork from PancakeSwap StableSwap. It increases your fees. It's not as good as like Fux or Balancer as far as you can't have 8 items, but you can have 3 coins in that and you get better fees. That was a recent upgrade to PulseX, right? There's a bunch of upgrades to PulseX that could happen. We can look at 9inch because they're basically the exact same thing. They've added V3. PulseX could have V3. They've added DCA bots. You could totally add limit orders. You could turn either PulseX or Ink into a DAO token where you're voting on which things got the next farm or other financial activity. Probably which thing gets the next farm is probably the most reasonable one. Like there's all these upgrades are totally possible and could technically, all of those things I just said could be done in 2 months with the dev team that he could support. Like we could have all those things. And what would happen if even if he said nothing and just all of a sudden those things appeared, numbers go up.
100%.
Yeah, because right now the RH dev team is working almost as a satellite separate, and the dev community, which obviously Fast Abdul and I have been speaking with for the last 2 years, there's so many different separate teams working right now, but they're actually all working very well together. They all share knowledge. They work on the whole, they're very inclusive of each other, which you don't see on many other chains. So, you get internet money, you get all these other kind of protocols really helping each other. So in a way, RH being away and having that separation from the central core team and that frustration we'll have with PulseX not exactly having the functionality we want to see is, in a way, giving us space to stop relying on daddy, you know, and grow up a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
good.
think so too.
Okay, really quick.
But let me just say something. Actually, I kind of disagree with Fast Abdul in the sense that, like the later that the updates come, I think the better, right? Because it's again what you're just saying. It's literally what I think, which is the fact that they haven't been done, right? So it's the narrative that they're gonna come, right? And I think it's good. That is awesome for newcomers, right? So yeah, I could see them coming later, right? Especially the V3, like much later. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. The thing is that it could be next cycle, or it could literally be next week. Like they could have these upgrades
Sure.
built in the background in a test net that we can't see, and they could deploy it.
Yep.
Like it could be tomorrow, right? So
It
there's
could be done already.
room for improvement.
Yeah. Sure. I'm just saying from the narrative perspective, it's like the ink voting. I think it's much better if we just have the dream that one day we're going to be, adding, voting, with ink to add new farms than just actually doing it, right?
Can I say another positive, which we haven't spoken about enough? We're so focused on this bull market, but I think one of our biggest strengths in PulseChain will be the bear market because, I saw yesterday Wolfie was having a stream and they with what's his name, the young guy,
DJ Khaled.
Khaled, and you guys were. I tuned in quickly, and you guys were covering the, for example, the pDAI Hex or Pulse pool, for example, paying 76%.
Yeah.
Like
And the pools. We went to
like
the pools,
right? Stuff like that. That I think, with what we have on PulseChain, we are going to be able to hold a lot more money through the bear market than any other chain. So I'm quite bullish on that. As I say, like right now we're kind of in the early stages, our first bull run with PulseChain, but I think we're going to hold a lot more liquidity than the average chain. Give people more reason. So let's say you have your favorite tokens right now. Instead of just yeeting out of the chain, you can go into your farms. Of course, you'll sell some exit and put it back to fiat. But I think we're going to hold a higher percentage than other chains. Wouldn't you love, if you love, for example, ASIC mining token, wouldn't you love to put it in a farm and then just wait for that 50% dip and then buy up that stuff for the next run? And I think because we've got that long-term Hex mindset of 15 years, most people I speak to when they come into these protocols, they say to me, Sammy, what's the best strategy? And I say to them, well, are you here for 2 years or are you here for 10 years? And what I'm hearing, most people here, they're here for 10 years. They've put the effort into getting into DeFi. They're not buying Dogecoin on Binance to sell in 6 months. They're actually here. They've made the effort to stay. So I think this whole new wave of participants we're going to get, I think we're going to really grow better than any other chain in the bear market.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of stablecoin things as well. So even when people, and everybody says, I'm going to sell at the top. Like, well, almost none of you are going to sell at the top. You're going to sell somewhere up or somewhere down from the top, but almost nobody hits the top. But when people do sell at the top and they move into stables, I think there's going to be a plethora of things that they can do on the Pulse chain to make way better than their bank will ever give them with those stables. We have balancer forks, we have convex forks, we have the Pulse X stable swap. We have things that will probably pay you between 10 and 30% on your stable coins through the bear market. And because our fees are much lower, we'll draw attention from other chains where people are paying way higher fees to do the same activity, right? So the stablecoin markets on PulseChain during the bear are going to be insane. It could actually be a golden age in some ways, in that we may not go down as much because that will be such a strong commodity.
Yeah, I think those farms are gonna be really good as long as pDAI pegs. Okay, really quick, good question. What did you guys think about the work Decentralized Me did? He did a lot of work putting together all the clues and the footprints on the blockchain. What did you guys think about the math there? Let's just get right to it. How was the math?
I'm going to admit, I didn't watch the stream. I've been crazy busy, so I can't comment. I apologize about that.
In my end, it sounded good. So I cannot.
It was good for you.
Confirm or deny that he's right. No. Yeah, it's I looked at it, but not deep enough to be sure, right?
Okay.
Just looks, but again, I'm super biased, right? Because I already think that RH is behind everything in a sense. So, but yeah,
Okay.
but I think like anyways, like what he's doing with PMaker is awesome. So, whatever the end result, right? It doesn't matter if Richard votes or not. I don't give a shit about that. I just think it's a nice try, right? They built something that it could be useful, and I like that.
I mean, you guys have, I mean, I don't know, Fast, you've seen the Decentralized Me, his videos where he goes into detail in the math. I mean, what did you think? Does anything add up for you, or are there big holes in there? What did you see?
There's definitive holes, and full disclosure, like I haven't watched all his videos, but
Okay.
I've been following his stuff on Twitter in particular, and looked at some of Somi's things in great detail when he's gone over it as well. So I feel like I have a handle on it. There's holes in the math, perhaps, in my opinion. I think it's a very optimistic viewpoint. There are other viewpoints, so I think people should proceed with caution. And not look at this as a sure thing. But like people in ecosystems like this have roles, and some people have the role of cheerleader. It's a very difficult role, and I can respect that. That is not my role. But guys like Somi and like him who are cheering for something and everything is positive, that's one of the jobs, and it's a job that not everybody can do. So hey, good for him. He's picked his hill and he's standing on it. And I'm okay with that. But
but he does show his work. He shows all his work, all the threads he's going through, right?
Yeah,
He's been very transparent with everything.
Assumptions. There's a lot of assumptions, right? Like, this is RH's wallet, and this is RH minting these coins, and all these things. That like some things you could speculatively say maybe that is this, but if RH was responsible for creating the chain, then he kind of created pDAI and 10,000 scam tokens like honeypots that got copied too, and all these things that nobody's saying he should take responsibility for. It's a bigger picture, right? So I've noticed the pDAI community likes to tie small things and turn them into big things when there's no particular statement. For example, Richard Hart once pointed out in a tweet the value of pDAI, right? And that's been embraced by the community. But to me, he was reaching out to ETH bros and saying, "Hey guys, there's money over here. Come and get it." Right? That's how I read that tweet. But other people read the tweet as this is Richard Hart saying that he made this token and that it's going to $1. Well, I understand subtext.
That's all we're kind of
subtext.
warning against. Exactly.
Say again,
don't speak for the man. You're a huge platform. Don't speak for the man.
So some of these things are some of the things that Decentralized Me said are definitively true, but they're not necessarily. They can't necessarily be attributed to Richard. They don't necessarily lead to a transition to the next thing in the sequence that he's indicated. It's. There is a lot of speculation, in my opinion. So, but it's optimistic.
I agree with
right?
the Richard part. Yeah, in the sense
according to this poll, we're not very popular. I think
The poll?
80% of people disagree with us right now. Fast Abdul.
Is RH behind pDAI?
You are the minority. Yeah.
I think we've lost, but your audience loves pDAI. I get it.
I've made a lot of pDAI videos over the last year. I mean, I was in it from the beginning, and I think part of it was Atropa. Atropa led me into it. I had to do my own work. I came here, I didn't really have a clique or a group, so the research I had to do was my own digging. I had to listen to someone's opinion, and then I had to go do digging. I didn't have anybody I could necessarily reach out to and say, hey, what do you think about this, or a group, So when I came across Atropa, and I wrote a video, the Atropa, the Wall Street of Crypto, I had already been having this idea that Atropa was much bigger than people realize. And it dawned on me that it needed a stable coin. It needed something in there. And it made sense. So the pDAI thing came together for me in a lot of ways. And then by then, Decentralized Me was making videos. He started about 8 months ago. And we were following a lot of his work. Obviously, 9iron was putting out stuff. And there was a few other people that were talking in detail about some of the stuff. And there's some live streams on my channel going way back, you can see. I was into it. I think it's necessary. But now, is he behind this particular iteration? Well, we don't know for sure. You know, he hasn't said it, so we don't know. But I believe he is. Sure. I believe he is. But I'm not as capable to you know, fact check the math, so to speak, you know, fully, you know, which is why I was asking, you know, Fast about that. I know he understands more of that, because I'm still open to hearing different perspectives. I mean, Fast, what do you think about Atropa and the magic bots? We have a lot of magic.
I think I have not done a deep dive on that ecosystem. I can see their momentum. I can see their bonded liquidity with many tokens. Like, obviously, they've done very well. Like, I believe in math, not magic. But like, you know, they are selling the story. It's part of the pDAI ecosystem, but it's not what's going to make pDAI $1. It almost has nothing to do with it, really.
Really? You don't think it has some support function under there to PulseChain in a big way?
You can burn pDAI, you can do all kinds of things, but it's going to come down to the function of the contract and how much collateral there is.
The collateral,
There could be something else built, but it needs to be more robust than the Atropa ecosystem to actually help push this to $1. And I think it's going to be a longer journey. It's not something that we're going to, like, you know, if it was possible, we're not going to see the $1 by Christmas. But I think with the, you know, with help, these things, everything could be possible. Like the blockchain is a pretty crazy place. And like, who would have said that pDAI would have been 2 cents or 1 cent from its bottom, right? Like, that seems insane, right? But here we are.
Here we are.
I'm not discarding this ecosystem. I'm doing my best to support the ecosystem, but I am highly skeptical about the details. Like, just right now, like, Somi's just posted breaking news. Okay, he's got new evidence because, like, a wallet that was connected to a wallet that voted in the PMaker contract is connected to another wallet that has $15 million worth of maker on Ethereum, right? And then he doesn't clarify what the connection is or whether we can actually say 100% that this is this wallet. And then he indicates this increases the chances that it's Richard Hart, right? It's like there's a ton of assumptions there, right?
I mean, we can look at it.
So, like, I appreciate his cheerleader role in this, and I will support Somi because he is key to this ecosystem. But, like, you know, does that information that a wallet that has a connection to another wallet that has $15 million worth of maker, does that mean it's Richard Hart? Like, no, there's lots of people with $15 million.
Yeah.
And like connections on the blockchain are tenuous, right? Like, who knows?
This is one part that I do agree with you. When it says in it for the glory and love,
100% agree with that.
That doesn't sound like the Hart band. One thing, I'm not as keyed into math. I'm more keyed into syntax and structure and language, and that doesn't sound like him.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No,
and 15 million is not that much. There's whales that would easily deploy that to pump their bags.
I agree.
Yeah. So this, I don't know if I buy this one. Yeah. Somebody's playing into it. This is kind of been the thing.
I think Abdul is right on that sense, right? Like there will be loads of people like taking advantage of the narrative, just expanding on it, right? Like using information that might not be correct. Yeah, I agree, cheerleading 100%. But again,
and almost no one is going to fact check what Somi just posted, right? And like himself, like he'll do a summary fact check, but the guy's like on the screen like 17 hours a day. Like, he's not doing a deep dive. There's no freaking time.
No.
Sure, but I also agree, right? That part is important. Now, whether it's true or not, sure, probably most of the stuff that are these kind of speculations are not correct, right? Like, it's not Richard, right? It's just some random guy, right? And yeah, sure, but again, I think at least for me, the logic goes much deeper than that. It's thinking of like a new chain. It's not just like I'm going to launch a new chain and just like fuck the tokens, right? I don't think that makes any sense, right?
Yeah,
so
you can. Alexander,
there was a plan, right? At least for some of the important protocols, in my opinion, of course. That's why I think it also took such a long time.
And I was sent. So a lot of my onboards, I used to send them Somi videos, crypto coffee videos, right? They're really good influencers to kind of give you a general feeling of what's going on in the chain. Now if I send you on boards to Somi, my concern is that they're going to see 90% posts about pDAI and they're going to miss the message on Hex. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, he isn't worked for anyone. He can pump what the hell he likes, and good luck to it.
Look, I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Look, pDAI's up. pDAI's up. It's in the green. It's getting attention. It's also the what do you call it? Like the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow in crypto. I mean, it is the fantasy, right? It is the holy grail.
It's a new coin. It's a new coin. Like a Hex, whether you like it or not, it's not a new coin, right? Like we can say it's a new coin, but like we all know it's not a new coin. Like that's why we say the top.
PulseChain, it is. It's a new. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it is.
Like everybody else heard about Hex, right? Like in the sense, like when you say, but now it's on PulseChain. Like they don't give a shit about that. Like it's Hex. They know Hex, right? It's okay. It's a cycle 2 coin. I'm not saying it's not gonna pump. Like I love Hex. I think it's gonna pump a lot, right? But like that, the pDAI is a newer narrative. Like it's like ink, right? It's new. It's just like you haven't heard of it before, right? It's brand new. Hex is like it's old, right? In that sense, and I think new is always better for the pump, right? You know, but again, I think Hex is going to pump a lot. Right?
This doesn't look like a Heartman wallet, but who knows? Who knows?
So on another topic, obviously, after
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay, I'll fill the
Take
gap.
over, Chad.
I've talked to Nuclear Herbs, who is our kind of leading guy in the space in terms of law. He attended the RH case. As I say, I think the real important news right now is what happens in this RH case. So, what he seemed to tell us was that usually after one of these hearings, these jurisdiction hearings, the average wait time for a response is anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 weeks. So I think we're sitting right in the middle of that right now. I think we're around 4 weeks. So I think we are imminent on some news on that. And we touched on this earlier. I think there's 4 separate jurisdiction cases. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have one against Hex, one against Mr. Schuler, and then I think we have one against Pulse, and then PulseX. I'm not 100% sure if there's 3 or 4. But I think, let's ask the audience, and yourselves on the panel, if we could take one of those cases to be dismissed, would we rather it be against Mr. Schuler, or would we rather it be, removed from Hex? What would be most bullish for us in this situation?
What do you think, Abdullah? I don't know, man. That's a very good question, but I have no idea.
Wow. Obviously, I'd want the entire thing thrown out. I guess,
Sure.
Like the bottom line is my main desire is for Richard to be on the screen again and, come back to work, as I like to say. Now, if the case being thrown out against him in particular would facilitate that, then that would be fine. I think that would be the biggest win, whatever results in that. But that aside, I think the to have the case thrown out against Hex would probably bring a lot of people back to the community that might have left, and that would result in the single biggest bang of the things that are on the table right now.
Yeah. I think that might open us up to potentially, Uniswap, for example, maybe listing us again. I don't know, but that's an example of what might help us. And the other big question is, and I don't know about this in how it works with law, but let's say, for example, the case was dropped against Hex, or the case was dropped against PulseX, or Richard Hart himself. I wonder which one would allow him to move funds legally, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So let's say, for example, they dropped the case against Hex but kept it open against PulseX, or the sacrifice funds for PulseX. It might still kind of trap him legally from moving that PulseX kind of sacrifice money. So I think what we really need in this situation is a full blown, wipeout of dismissal of case, which I think is actually very possible. But let's be realistic in our expectations and take what we can as a win. Even if we get one dismissed, I think that will be a cascade effect.
There he is, taking his shirt off, showing his muscles. This works with the accusation in the chat from Supermerc 2001 that this is a homosexual hangout. I informed him that it's not a homosexual hangout, but he's welcome anyway.
Right when you invited people, I put it on the video. Taking a shirt.
Oh. Excellent.
Oh, that's funny. Brandon said, do you remember when RH said he knows someone making MakerDAO on PulseChain? Why would you activate MakerDAO if you didn't have or expect to have the available collateral? Okay, that's a fair point. Why would you do that? Why is somebody messing with MakerDAO that everyone thinks is the RH, is a hard man?
The answer to that's pretty obvious. Number go up.
It would be very hard to take over MakerDAO, not being Richard. I'm not saying it's not possible, just saying it would be very, very hard.
It's a lot.
Quite
sounds like a lot of work.
Why would Richard have an edge over me? Why would he be better at taking over MakerDAO than I would?
I don't know. They build a chain, right? So I'm sure he was, more prepared to the launch than
he's not a dev.
else.
Yeah, he's not a dev. Like there'd be a lot of devs that.
No, when I say Richard, I mean like the PulseChain guys, right? Not Richard, like the team. That's what I'm saying. Not sure. It wasn't him like per se, but like his team. That's what I mean, right?
Dude, the magistrate judge's name is Peggy.
What my god, that's like shit.
This means something.
That means something. Actually. That's the universe telling us. So I mean,
that's right. No, Richard set it up that way. He knew it was going to be Peggy.
It doesn't mean nothing, that's for sure. It means something.
We shall see. It'd be great if it all worked out, and then all these things that meant something could be proven. Like that would actually be fantastic. Great marketing tool.
But what I think people might misunderstand is that there's absolutely no way that pDAI will peg without like extreme volatility. Because we were saying before that if it goes above $1, it's fucked or it doesn't work, whatever. But I mean, it can go way beyond the vaults are not collateralized, or if the ratios are not yet correct. That's what I mean, right? So I think it can be treated as a meme coin, right? Until or if it has enough collateral or if it has enough liquidity that it kind of pegs, right? So yeah,
there could be another way.
But I agree with you. Right now it's obviously not a stable coin, right? It's a meme coin with stable coin features, right?
I like that. That's fair. It's a meme coin right now with some stable coin potential.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it features. It does have the features, like literally, right? The features in the sense that it has features, like the code has the features. That's what I mean. There are. This is true. It's not a gay only hangout. I think Super Merc might become friendly now that he knows that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is welcome though. I'm okay with the gays being here. It's not offensive to me. I'm cool with the gays.
Taylor wants to know, does anyone have updates on Bank X sell wall on eHex? Well, I get the feeling from his tweeting and joining in a conversation that he's not planning on dumping the wall that's left. But I'd like to hear you guys' opinion on that. Like he's trying to...
he's going to dump. He's
going to dump?
Yeah.
I think there's more to this story than we know. I think there's a personal vendetta there with other whales, so I think he's not stupid. He knows Hex is going to pump, but I think he's a very rich man, and I think there are whale disagreements going on. But as far as I heard recently, most of that is now gone. Is that correct?
That was a good amount. What is? Fast. What were you saying about it?
What was I saying? That's a good question. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
Yeah. The Bank XL wall. The Bank XL wall.
Oh, Bank XL wall.
Yeah,
I think BankX is running a promotion right now where if you retweet them the most, you get a free mouse pad. So I was pretty excited about the meme value of that. Apart from that, I'm not interested in BankX at all. I think it's terrible. And I think that guy's going to get out for as much dollars as he can, but he is getting out. He is not here to stay. He is not a community member. He is an extractor.
Yep, I agree.
But that free mouse pad, I kind of want it.
He does seem a little out of touch, that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's gonna hold on for a bit. He's not ready to GE yet. Yeah.
He's got LP going on in and stuff. Like he's been getting out in various ways. He's looking for the door. If there was a big enough door, he would probably take it.
Yes, I agree 100%.
So we're bullish for PHEX then, because he's all EX, right? Is that correct?
But once he's out though, right? Like no matter, like he could paint a huge red candle, but like as soon as that red candle is painted and it's confirmed that Bank X is out of EHEX, probably we see a pump beyond the range of said red candle. Not financial advice, but I think the community would be like, finally, I've been waiting, press the buy button. You know, there's money sitting on the sidelines waiting for that guy to not be in the picture.
Yeah, and even if you're not in EHEX right now, because I say it's a bit more of a avant-garde kind of people for, you know, who are kind of really into their Hex and ecosystem playing that game. But even if you're just a PHEX holder, we can all celebrate when he's gone, because when EHEX makes its massive move, which it will, and it will outperform PHEX when that guy's gone, it's going to be a massive advertisement on the ETH chain, which we're more visible on. For people like Mitch Ray, for traders, for influencers, when they see EHEX start to pump, which is more visible to them, that's going to be a massive marketing campaign for all you PHEX holders. You know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in ETH. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I know a lot of people in ETH that are just, they're not leaving it. They're just gonna buy Hex on ETH. That's it. That's what they're gonna do. And well, they've been doing it a bit, but you know. Yeah, like once the price start to go up, yeah, they'll start buying more, but they won't come to PulseChain, right? They'll just stay on it, you know. And I know a lot of people that, you know, that will just do that. It is what it is, right?
Yep.
Guys, I'm gonna have to sign off. It's very late for me. I've got Betty buys, but thank you so much for having me. And I'm sorry to be a fudder tonight for the pDAI dreams, but I'm just trying to throw some cold water on the situation.
No, man, it's a pleasure having you.
That was very diplomatic. For you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
This is the after party. Anything goes. It's all good.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Take it easy, fat.
Peace in the audience. God bless.
See you again, brother.
Bye-bye, man.
Night. Charlo, what's up? How you been, man? I haven't talked to you in a while, man. I think the last time we talked was probably about pDAI, I'm sure. Yeah, oh man, we just went, there was some crazy pDAI talk. We did a poll. 85% of the viewers believe that RH is behind pDAI. You want to join? You got your camera up? Why don't you come in for a bit? Who's going to be the first?
Grab a beer. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah. Get Jennifer Lopez or Shakira. Ooh, no, not J-Lo, bro. Shakira. Why is that even an or? That's not even an option, man. Charlotte, teach him some manners. What? Give me 5. Yeah, cool, man. Everyone's grabbing a beer, so good time. I grabbed one, and then I don't know, everyone, I filled one up. They saw the frothy head, and then everyone ran for one. It's just, you know how that is, like a beer commercial. I should do a poll for the audience. What are you guys drinking? All right. In the meantime, I am going to, while they come back, I'm going to look at where did Meta end for the evening. Now let's see what Ethereum is doing here really quick. What time is it? Okay, it's wrapped up. We're looking good. The pegging is definitely a gay vibe.
Pegging is a little bit gay. There is too much pegging going on. Other than that.
It's, yeah. Likely become part of crypto lore. The peg. It has to happen, man. I think this has to, it's just too mythic. It's just too big now. The Heartman's got to do it. He's going to have to peg it. Who's buzzing? Is that me? That's not me, is it?
Sorry, I'm getting
that's you. Okay.
various calls here.
Yeah. Check we look at the Rob chart. What's Rob? Oh, Richard's only brother. That thing. Okay. Wait, isn't that a? Wasn't that some crack involved project? Let's see if this plays out.
That's
over here.
Richard's only brother, known as Shane Schuler.
Yeah, but that's just a meme, right?
There's only one Rob. The quantity of the token is 1 with many decimals.
This is what I'm thinking here on PulseWrap Bitcoin. We're tracking it. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna do that. All right, let's go see Rob. See what Rob's up to. Lately I do want to ask you about ST-ETH, because it seems like every stream I do, a lot of comments come in about ST-ETH. So let's come back to that in a second. Are you in, Rob? Are you holding Richard's only brother?
I will never disclose my bags, but I am aware of Shane Schuler and his Rob token. He is quite the character. I think he's worth looking at. He's very consistent in his story about him being Richard's only brother. Richard has blocked him very publicly and has never confirmed. So I am somewhat skeptical, similar to pDAI, of whether or not he is actually Richard's only brother.
It's 100% not Richard's.
It seems less likely.
So basically,
but he does a great job with the just the exposure. Like he's a crazy guy who's occasionally homeless, attention. Seems to perhaps live in a van, and it's it's quite interesting. Like he gets attention, right? And it brings attention to the chain. I like him just fine. I wouldn't necessarily hire him to be my banker per se. There was a recent FUD item, which we can see on the chart there, where Shane's roommate, who was a crackhead, stole his seed phrase and dumped the Rob tokens. So that's the recent low that we see. Actually, I think it's the 2 most recent lows. And but now the crackhead roommate is out of Rob tokens because he's already dumped them all. So the community has pumped it back up again. So that was the very public story that Rob told everybody. And can believe that or not believe that.
But do you hey, I'm putting the link right here in the chat, Charla. But don't you think that's just a story so that somebody could drain the wallet? It's a very nice story, but come on, the whole
I'm with you. We're talking about thousands of dollars, like literally. Like look at the liquidity there, right? It's about the same as it was before the wallet was dumped. Right?
Oh, okay.
So it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars were not extracted. Thousands of dollars were extracted by the crackhead roommate. So it's and he seemed very sincere. He was he had a tear in his eye, so to speak. He maintained his story about being Richard's only brother throughout the entire timeline. And when it was suggested he launch a new token, he insisted there was only one Rob and there could never be a new token. So I have some faith that people wouldn't maybe take those actions for $2,000. But we are talking about very small amounts of money here. So maybe it doesn't matter that much.
The most pathetic rug in history, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but it's it's still alive, and it has a representative. It has a guy he has his own channel on YouTube. He streams all the time. He is definitely visible on Twitter, blocked by many, I suspect. The guy gets around. So, what else can you ask for in a meme coin, right? You have
that's perfect.
Richard's
that's
only brother, who's it's not boring.
No, that's exactly what you want. Exactly what you want for a meme. Yeah. You want the controversy or funny. I want to ask you before I forget. What's your thoughts on telling people what you hold, or sometimes I tell people on the stream, I'm in this token or that. You think it's bad? I noticed you didn't want to say. Is that?
I believe we were talking about Rob in particular in that case, but generally speaking,
What's your
I'm
philosophy on
against people doxing their wallets. I do have a public wallet, right? That's like, posted, right? That people can look at. They want. I use it for demos and things like that. And that's it. And any other wallet I have, I will neither confirm nor deny that is my wallet, no matter what anybody says. As far as saying like, I'm interested in this or I have a bit of this, I'm okay with that. But like, it's more the wallet address itself, I think is sacred, right?
Right.
My wallet address is private. I have 1,000 of them, and I'll never confirm which ones they are, even if it's obvious, because I think part of the blockchain.
Yeah, I understand not wanting to share
that.
details.
Smart.
Yeah. I don't want people to see the amounts or details or how I'm trading or whatever. Yeah. But it's okay to tell. What do you think? It's okay to tell someone I hold this one, right?
But I think for an influencer in particular, there's some full disclosure in you saying that has like a valuable honesty to it. So yeah, I do think it's okay to say I have this. If you want to. I don't think you should have to say though, right? Like, okay. I don't think you have to answer that question if someone asks. Yeah. As long as you're not like giving financial advice that they should buy this, at which point perhaps you should disclose. But like, yeah, like, your money, your problems, like your keys, your crypto. I think the wallet should always be kept secret for virtually everybody. I'm okay with people wallet tracking, but like, I do not like the doxing of wallets. I think that is a negative practice, with the sole exception of when we're following up on some sort of a scam. But even then, it's questionable. And it's always questionable whether they have the right results as well. So I think you can tell people like, I'm into this, I like this, and people will infer that by you talking about it anyway. But there is some room there for movement on should you or shouldn't you tell them what you want to buy or what you're going to buy or what you did buy.
And we lost Charla.
A lot of green in that.
I think people should chill as much as they want to. Like it's our responsibility if you buy and sell, right?
Oh yeah, STETH. Yeah. Why is everybody wanting to talk about STETH right now?
I think they're looking for another pDAI type narrative, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I can pull STETH from the forked curve contract that doesn't have a front end. And arbitrage that price if it goes too high. I might do that later today. There's my full disclosure. So I could see why some people want it to go up. The ones who can do what I can do might be interested in that price being really high. So, but I would be nervous about STETH going to parity with ETH. I think the math on that is questionable. It has a lot of bonds with other things, right? Like that's STETH. Which one is that? It's it's staked ETH. Like, is it Lido?
I think so. Is it? I think it's Lido's.
So like let's say that's Lido's. It's not Rocket Pools, but regardless, like it's a copied staked ETH from one of the many staked ETH protocols on Ethereum that has like many liquidity bondings that would have been copied over, right? So it will go up when other thing goes up. If you look at WST you'll see almost the exact same chart. They're like, because they're super tied to each other. It's like just another staked ETH protocol, and like and they're tied to so many things that they're going to move up when pDAI moves up. They're going to move up when like many copied items move up because it's a very prominent liquidity pair on Ethereum. So we have actual equivalents of these that work on PulseChain. Like instead of buying STETH, you could take a look at the Vouch protocol and you could stake your Pulse in a real liquid staking protocol that actually works and make yield on your Pulse and then be able to yield farm with that with no impermanent loss. Like that's something real you could do instead. But this is strictly speculation, and there's people like me who have a backdoor to this.
Charlotte, what's up, bro?
Hey man, how you doing? You hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
We got you loud and clear.
You talking about staked ETH right now and wrapped ETH?
We're talking about fast. We're talking about Fast Abdul's backdoor.
Oh,
would you care to? Can you expand on that? fast. What do you
On
mean?
his backdoor or on stake ETH?
Both. Yeah. What do you mean
Right,
people know about your backdoor?
I don't
What do
know
you-
too much about Fast Abdul's backdoor. I'm not sure if I want to figure that out, but there's mysteries in life I don't need to know, you know?
True.
Hey, let's not get off at a
About-
bad foot here.
About staked ETH, you know it's mintable, no? First of
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So to
It is,
say,
it is.
hey, let's invest in this is a tricky thing. I would not recommend anybody to buy it. Yes, it's pumping. Yes, it might
Where was
pump
it?
more, but it's like LUSD, you know?
Yeah, I
In
remember
a
that.
sense of don't touch something that's that hot and you might get fucked. That's my opinion to staked ETH. About wrapped forked ETH,
Mhm.
which is pegged to the pDAI, to the PulseChain, same exact price, or 5 zeros and a 1 difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can just put it in an LP pool and you make money on your Pulse.
And what's our ETH?
Yeah.
Because now I've been getting questions on. I think some people send me messages. They wanted to know
A
about our
Rocket
ETH.
Pool ETH,
Yeah,
Rocket
that's another
Pool
staking.
is another type of staking protocol on ETH. Obviously, it is not mintable and it's very limited in supply. So I personally would, if you want to go for the parity play on ETH,
Mhm.
there is RETH and there is RETH2, which is even smaller from its pool, and they're not mintable. I'm not saying buy them or this is financial advice. I'm just saying if you're considering doing a PRC 24 copy game,
Mhm,
this
mhm.
might be one. That is definitely
Don't get
safer
something
than
that's
stake.
most good advice.
Yeah, they're all looking good. I mean, they're all pumping. Everyone's into them right now.
It's bonded liquidity though, so they're just getting pulled up by other stuff, right? Like there's probably some people
With
buying,
ETH.
but there's probably
Okay.
more just action where it's getting pulled up by things it's attached to. Anyway, guys, I got to run. I got several appointments and calls to return. But it was a pleasure to meet you guys.
Pleasure having
and to
you.
chat with you.
Likewise.
I'd love to do it again sometime.
Yeah, stop by anytime, man. Doors always open.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Nice.
Take care, man.
Good one.
Wolf, I'm about to go too, man. Need to go to sleep, bro.
Yeah, no, I get you.
to
The after hour
extrapolate
show
more.
is full on after hours. I'll chill for a little bit with Charla.
Okay.
Pedro, it was great having you once again.
Yeah, man.
Doors always open.
And you guys
anytime,
enjoy.
man. All right. Night.
Take care. Bye bye.
Take care, brother.
Charla, what time is it where you are? I'll put you over here.
No, it's fairly early. It's only 10 to 8. 10 to 8 in the evening.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad.
If I'm on Eastern time scale, on Eastern time zone, like Miami.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 6 hours ahead.
Mm.
So we've been through a lot.
But-
Earlier we talked about what? Go ahead.
No, please let me know.
Yeah. We talked about this tweet from October 22nd, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
The Heartman had sent this over. And he puts this chart up of Hex to Pulse. And then he had put this up. And he had highlighted Die. And now I'm thinking that it's not just Die he wanted us to look at, but also Hex. So I think that can be...
You mean head? In that case?
Yeah. I think that might be... I think it might do a 10,000x as well. Yeah.
From here or from the bottom?
From, where the bottom was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which
But I
would bring
don't-
us to what? Do the bill?
Yeah, somebody do the math. What would it take us to?
What was the exact hex bottom? 0.03? Am I wrong? Like a third of a cent, more or less?
It was
Like
Yep.
it, yeah.
0.0035.
Yeah, close.
So you'd be
Yeah, I thought I remembered.
$30?
Wow. Well, that's a bullish statement right there. But
That's
and
quite
again,
bullish.
if you think about it, if you think about what the old all-time high was, it would be 60 times the old all-time high. That's not crazy neither. That is pretty crazy, yes. But if what we think is going to happen is going to happen, I'm talking the peg, I'm talking the PRC20 parity with most of the important ones at least. Why would Hex not skyrocket? You know?
Right.
I mean, there's not a reason why it wouldn't. And it's liquidity bomb with all the other stuff that's skyrocketing, and it's Richard's baby, dude. In the end, it's his first child. You know, we don't say we have favorites normally, having children, but I guess he has a special love for Hex in his heart, and he's not gonna just let it do a 2x. If it was a 2x from its old all-time high, and you waited fucking that many years for a 2x from your old all-time high, it's a failure. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's see this a little bit more objective from the outside, and we would say you could have invested in other stuff and would be way better off. No? Yeah. And I guess he's not going to do a million X from here, but I would be really also astonished if it would be just go to $1. Let's say it that way. I'm also believing it's probably going to definitely outperform what most people say. Yeah.
I think at least at least 1,000x. I think it's going above $3. I think it's going to do something, and that is really what's going to turn heads, because when he recovers the first one and it goes well beyond what anybody ever imagined, I think that's the best marketing. You peg pDAI and then you do X. Now I know you're into the pDAI narrative, right? We've talked before about this.
A couple of times, no?
Yeah.
I'm definitely pretty heavy into or deep into the matter.
You're still on board with it? Nothing's changed? Are you more convicted or less convicted now?
Like, dude, you're joking. My portfolio looks better than ever. Why would I not be convicted?
Okay, well, I mean, but there's a difference in the meme that pumps to $1 versus it also being a stable coin, right? It's a meme coin with stable coin function possibilities right now.
That's what we're leaving. But I mean, I'm very bullish on Teddy. I'm very bullish on pDAI. I'm very bullish on Treasury Bill. I'm bullish on different coins out of the ecosystem, not just on pDAI. PUSDT for me has been the last couple of weeks way more interesting, just for being that low in a ratio to pDAI than getting pDAI. Actually, I'm not a FOMO buyer. If I would buy something, this is hypothetical. But yeah, PUSDT for me was still is a really good game. You've seen what happened to PUSDC reaching parity with pDAI. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm again not financial advice, but if you look what Maria has written and recently has written about PUSDT reaching $1 and then him pumping into PHEX 120 million, it's pretty clear this plan hasn't changed. So I'm not saying go and run and buy PUSDT right now, but yeah, it's 60% off from pDAI. So not funding pDAI, also not saying don't buy pDAI if you're interested, but I just saying like the whole system for me is going to grow 100%. I'm not time-wise as set as some people are. I don't want to be over bullish or too much of a moon boy or a drink my own Kool-Aid guy, you know. I try to rather be let's rather get surprised positively than count on it, you know? Yeah. That's my whole approach to this, because I'm not trying to get needy and be like, oh, it has to pack in a week or I'm going to cry type situation. I'm comfortable as it is. I think 100% is going to happen from my point of view. Nothing has changed in opposite. We have more facts than ever right now. We have seen Richard fooling around with probably Richard's wallets, with a lot of the PRC20 copies in vaults for collateralizing them potentially. There's a lot of ways to collateralize stuff on ETH protocols, no? More than just pDAI, PUSDC, PUSDT, a lot more. So there has been a lot of movement behind the scenes, and then we have seen some crazy pumps, like for example, BTT, BitTorrent, Gnosis.
Yeah, I saw that one went crazy. Yeah,
going insane. So, dude, I'm even more bullish now because I'm seeing what Sunny's saying. You know, shout out to Sunny from Sunny's Pub.
What's he said lately?
I'm agreeing on that. He's saying that most important PRC20s are eventually going to go to parity.
Yeah,
and that's insane, dude. That just means like you can pretty be much in nearly anything, and you have gains from here on. That's what it means. So again, no financial advice. Don't FOMO into everything. Everybody that knew, like a couple of people, quite some people, including me, obviously already bought in low parts these things. So I'm also saying you're buying my bag if you're buying it now. Just saying that it's already, some of these things are pretty highly priced right now. They might do a correction, or they might moon from here, but there is not a lot of games you can look at in the PRC20s and the ERC20 price and think which ones might be a good one and which ones are not. That is advice that I would give. It's like, look at the price differences and think about why would it be interesting to get this community on board on PulseChain. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're all going to parity, and people are having a lot of fun with them. Yeah, people are coming over. It's creating. I mean, it makes me more bullish on pDAI, as well, for the narrative. But I understand people are still working through, the math. What do you think about the work? I had a long talk with Decentralized Me. And I don't know if you saw that episode I did with him on Conversations on Chain, but what do you think about his perspective and the work he's done and his math, so to speak?
I think he's a very intelligent dude that does a lot of on-chain investigation. He's very capable. Most of what he says, I'm agreeing with. Not everything. I'm agreeing, let's say, with 99% of his opinion. The only thing that I was not agreeing on was that Richard has to vote now, kind of. If not, it wouldn't be nice. I don't know if I agree with that argument. I'm just thinking, as much as I also would like it to happen in a week or two, I'm also realistic in the way that there's still a lawsuit with the SEC. It might be not the right timing yet. So I'm not like, that's kind of the only difference that I see with him, It's like, I don't need it to be that crazy right now. It's going to happen till January. It's more like, it's going to happen. Let's not go crazy about the conspiracy part. Like these days, there was kind of a argument, or like say a discussion, not argument, between Nine Iron Capital and Decentralized Me, because he went a little far with his theories. Too far, and then afterwards said I was wrong. So please, to everybody, Decentralized Me is very intelligent, very knowledgeable, but he also does not know everything, and he's also speculating. We all are speculating on the facts that we have, because as long as Richard does not move OA money into pDAI, or obviously uses his P maker to manipulate bots to make PUSDT, for example, a collateral, then I can't say there's 100% certainty. And I think Somi says it well. Speculation is priced in. Always it's priced in. If there would be no speculation, we would be at $1. Logically, if everything would be clear, we would be at $1 right now. And since there is still uncertainty, or at zero, because there's none. Agreed. There's still a possibility that this is not true. And I guess, man, like, I don't know. That's why I don't want to create too much FOMO. I love to be bullish about pDAI and Teddy. Don't get me wrong. I'm a lover. I'm a fanboy. I admit it. I met Maria, and since then I'm sold on the whole thing. I don't give a fuck what he says in the IRC. I know the real person, so I never considered me. It didn't really concern me that much. I wasn't like, oh my god, he's a racist. He's a shit or something. He's just trolling people.
I come from a different frame, man. I look at what someone value they're bringing at whatever they're. I don't. They seem like an amazing person. Yeah, I mean, look, I've been deep in the IRCs for over a year now. I mean, I started my channel making just out where I would just sit here with a drink and just go through the IRC. So yeah, man, I feel like I understand that person. Corey, what's up, brother? How are you doing? Corey, if you want to come in and join in and chat, let me know. Well, I'll just put a link up. You just knock on the door if you feel it.
Hey, Corey, how you doing, brother? It's been a while.
Okay. What do you think about Atropa? How's it going? Is everything going to plan?
Everything's going to plan. It's I think Atropa is kind of undervalued right now.
Yeah, let's go look at the chart.
What it is. Like, just considering that it has been kind of outperformed by pDAI heavily, and before it used to move very simultaneously in proportions. You could say the same thing about Teddy, though, too. Teddy has been lost by the other two. Like, if you look at the ratios, it's still in the bottom in comparison to pDAI.
Fire, dude. It's setting a new, it's on a new. It's sick, dude. Let's go look at this.
You know, B-Root said something these days, and I have to admit it a little bit. What he says in that case is true. He said, let Teddy do another 2x from here and see how people are going to FOMO Teddy then, like talk about it, influences.
Oh, big time.
And then it's going to have a pretty similar, how you say, movement like pDAI, because I say the name, without Somi's involvement and his FOMO videos that he makes every day, I don't think we would have as much of a pump as we have. He has a lot of outreach. He has a lot of viewers, and he's been talking about it nonstop.
He's been talking about Die nonstop. Yeah, he has. We were looking at his where were we? Yeah. He's now a full believer. Yeah, 100%. And now his channel's all pDAI now. It's great.
I gave him shit back in the day. I'll be honest with you. I gave him shit for funning it. I was like, honest.
Look,
I think I do.
Why?
I said the truth. I said, dude, I like you a lot, Somi. I appreciate you as a person. I think you're funny. But you fudded pDAI without doing on-chain investigation. What happened there?
He didn't investigate enough. Well, look, his FUD gave me the buy of probably my lifetime.
So thanks to the FUD, Somi, you gave cheap entries, and that's true. All we knew, we're happy to buy this. And no, I appreciate Somi. I'm not saying that because I'm hating on him. I'm just saying, like, I think
he's
a lot
great.
of the stuff is underappreciated right now, including Teddy and Atropa. And I guess they're all going to perform very well. I don't even know which one's going to be eventually the best.
It's amazing. Teddy's at 84 million. When this, I mean, it's getting heated. It's getting warmed up. When this runs and it goes past 1 billion, people are going to cry. This is going to be ridiculous. This is going to be epic. There's all these lines all over the place. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's creating fractals, and every engulfing candle is going to be bigger eventually. But again, no financial advice. I'm not saying tomorrow it's going to be 1 billion. But dude, let's just think about this logically.
No, it's a hammer. This looks like it's going up. It's going up.
It's going up. It's repeating the formation from before, just in bigger. That's what I'm seeing. It's going to get bigger and popping.
Ooh, tell us, Heinrich. Tell us I don't know. There were 3 devs, because I heard that story where Somi was uncertain and somebody told him some stuff, but who are they? I don't know who they were. I mean, who did it? Oh, there was another chat. Somebody else was mentioning something earlier and I missed it. But Coast Power City Liquid Loans, that's who coordinated the FUD. Oh, you're right. I think that's who it was. Why did they have so much sway over him? I mean, I guess it worked out in the end, but because pDAI would have been a competitor to them, or I think that's something that Decentralized me and myself, we talked about in the live stream. But this is looking
there
really
was so
good.
much FUD in that time. I mean, Crypto Coffee also FUDded it, and he's a nice dude. I don't think he did it on bad purposes. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, you know. There was some people voluntarily or intentionally, rather, FUDding it because they were jealous of their performance. There was, back in the day, a lot of bad vibes between people that like oranges and people that like pDAI, you know? There was a lot of bitching at each other heavily. And I feel like Somi back in the day was on their side 100% because he was shilling a lot of orange stuff.
Yeah.
And can't ignore the green candles. That's the reality. When you said the best onboarding is green candles, the reality is proof are green candles. Success give you the right to say, I was right. And Somi is a guy who's intelligent enough, and we all know he's an intelligent dude. who can say, all right, I might have been wrong in that moment, but this thing it's chart, and all of what I'm seeing is playing out. I'm going to change my opinion. I'm part of this now. Welcome, dude, to the community. Happy you're a part of it. And please continue making 5 videos a day about pDAI. I'm not hating on that at all.
I'm not
Much
hating
love
on
out to Australia, brother. Appreciate it.
Do you have wait, can't we just get along? Just because pDAI went up doesn't mean you were right. Yeah, we don't know anybody's right yet. Look, right now you have to look at it like a meme, and the narrative's strong. It's going to $1 just on the meme quality. Now I believe a pegging will happen, but you don't have to. It's still going to go up for a while. Infinity's doing great. OG Web Chef's project.
Yeah.
See,
yeah, man.
Yeah, I like this because I earn BFF, and we're all BFF is to the Atropa dev what Teddy Bear is to the Heartman. Would you say that's a fair comparison?
Yeah, I mean, also would say that BFF is like a keystone of the whole Atropa function. And then it's just started to actually function, because I mean, we just went above, literally just a couple of weeks ago, above the 8K, and since then it has been Maria has created a bigger and bigger liquidity web with more and more tokens, and I'm very excited. I was super lucky. I took the last tip and went in. I honestly hadn't ever touched it, and only had uptime since then, and I'm pretty grateful to be part of BFF. And again,
what's it doing?
Shout out to the GOAT 414, dude. I mean, it's just insane. It is insane how well Maria does the math liquidity game. It is just always mind blowing. What I wanted to tell you too is you were mentioning OG Web Chef. Dude,
we were just looking at Infinity,
Yeah, we're just looking at Infinity. Also, the world's greatest pDAI printer. I mean, I'm not saying, again, it's financial advice, buy it right now, but I am very, very happy that I went into that early. It's printing me pDAI every day.
Yeah, same here.
In a nice amount. And if pDAI packs, you can literally only just live off that forever. It's pretty insane. It is definitely pretty insane. Again, not drinking your own Kool-Aid too much. And I'm also not saying, hey, about this pride thing. It was a joke, with the green candles. Don't take it to the heart. I'm also not hating any people that love oranges. I'm not a maxi of anything. I wish you all success. Pokemon stuff, whatever it is that you guys created, I wish you love and success. There is no hate. There is no need to hate. Why would you hate? I never hated anybody for what they say in the internet. Who cares? You know?
Yeah, I've never taken anything personal. Coming here. People that blocked me in let's say the Hex community, whatever, I've been unblocked. Like I don't take any. There's no time. The bull run's so small. You don't have time to invest energy in taking anything personal right now. Look, if you missed Bear, BFF is at $10 million market cap. It is the mascot for Atropa, for the 414 developer. Okay. So not financial advice. G-Baby. Oh yeah, G-Baby. Now this one I didn't get into. I've been so busy. I finally started missing them. I'm in Treasury Bill, everything else, and TSFI and PFF, but this one was great. I like the vibe.
Meme?
It's just strong. It's very strong. Oh, yeah. So this is gonna. Don't pay attention. I was just playing around. I don't know how to quite muck with this because that big red candle over here, but yeah, it looks really good. This is beautiful. It's going up. Yeah, TSFI. I've been in TSFI since day one. Rob, we talked about Rob earlier. G-Baby. Yeah, G-Baby's cool. I like the vibe. I like I don't know who made this. Do you know who made this? Like,
I think it was, I'm not sure 100, but I know that Ben Potwin, who did Kiss and did Hug, is also involved in the G-Baby thing and Mindfulness and a couple of other decent people that I appreciate. So I would also say, again, no financial advice, run and buy it, but the people that are behind it right now and kind of managing the Telegram and X account and all that are nice people and not ruggers. Are not known to rug.
Okay.
So, yeah, not a bad community at all. I'm part of the Telegram group. Bring in there.
Right on. Awesome. So while I got you here, really quick, if the pegging's happening, okay, let me check the poll. We did a poll earlier. So I asked, is RH behind pDAI? 86% are saying yes. 14% are saying no. Ooh, it's interesting. It's almost too much consensus for me. It has me a little worried.
Dude, you have to imagine who your viewers are. It's
not
like
my audience is pDAI, yeah.
You know? Let's say it's not a representative sample that you would do as a statistic study if you try to get a survey done or something.
I will happily admit that people that follow my channel are probably some of the wealthiest people on PulseChain. Just straight up. You guys smash that like if that's true, because I know it. I've gotten messages from people who've been, just someone tonight who just I learned about pDAI from me. Like, because everything I talked about from the beginning, Atropa, which was completely uncertain. I was getting it a year ago. We didn't know where it was going. pDAI, Teddy Bear, and then obviously the core tokens. But if you were in anything I talked about in any video at any time, you're up massive right now. So I'm stoked about that. So yeah, no complaints here.
So why wouldn't people that watch your videos be bullish on pDAI if they all make money with it?
They're all bullish. Yeah. Tell me about time. What do you think? Do you think it can peg this cycle? How soon do you think it could happen? What do you think?
All right, this cycle, I would say, from all what I believe. Again, I don't have a magical glass ball here that I can predict the future, but I would say this cycle 100%. Also, just from what Maria told me back in the day in Amsterdam, he said 2 years is so to say, the time scale that he imagined it should happen in, which gives us June next year. Not saying it happens to then 100%, but that's what he said. He's the dev. Okay. He made all the price predictions. So I would listen to his words. Yes, it could happen before. It could also happen slightly after. Perhaps Pulse has a delayed super bull run. Who knows? I'm just saying, I'm pretty damn sure before we have the next bear market, there is a pDAI, because the whole idea of pDAI is to get big whales to put their money into pDAI and get a nicer APR on their stables than anywhere else. That is really what's going to happen. So that has to happen before the bull market, so people wouldn't cash out all of their money out of the chain. Because the idea is to keep money on the chain and not to just drain it completely when the bear is starting, no? So in my opinion, that is the game theory, game plan that makes the most sense. To get it done before the bear starts.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, it would take a lot of financial energy to get up to the prices again if it's not pegged before the bear, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of that, how long do you think we have left in this bull run? There's such a wide spectrum of opinions on this one. I don't want to.
Yeah, that is not an easy question either. What do you think? But I'm pretty much set on end of next year, beginning of 2026. It's over. That's more or less what I'm seeing. What should happen?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there's some camps saying we only have a few months left, and a few months is enough to do quite hundreds of X's in an altcoin bull run. But at the same time, I'm open. Look, I'm ready for it ending in early next year, a lot sooner than people think. But I'm also open to the fact that it could go another year, and I need to take care of my health and get some more rest. I don't know. Yeah, but I do think we're going to push quite a bit higher up on BTC. But it is touchy, yeah. But if it were to end soon, it doesn't give PulseChain a lot of time to do a lot of things it could do. That's the problem with if we end early, Fall 2025 top. Yeah, so that's almost a year left, and that's technically would make sense if we're not cut short. And I think maybe we do. Maybe other factors come in, make markets bullish. You can see they're pumping out really bullish news. The SPX, it looks like they're just going to leave people behind and keep pushing up. You know, yeah, it's hard to say. And
I mean, if Bitcoin becomes a reserve, then we don't know what's going to happen. That's kind of a speculation, no? If Bitcoin becomes reserve for the US or for any major player, if Trump does that, that's obviously just a theory, not any fact.
We'd run for a year.
Yeah, exactly.
We
don't know what the policy
if not more.
We know that he's going to put in a crypto-friendly SEC leader. So we know very likely that our case is going to be dropped or that Richard's going to win. I'm very, very secure now that's happened. So I guess once that's done, we're ready to be partnered with the bigger stuff. I don't know if you saw the Binance conspiracy stuff today. There was a post on Binance.
Oh, with the heart?
Yeah, with a heart and saying Pulse is pegged to Binance or something like that.
Yeah, I did see that.
That is weird.
I don't know. That was weird, man. I don't know what to make of that. You guys saw that, right? That was really interesting. Is that on purpose? Is that just...
I mean, come on, dude. This can't be a coincidence. Like, you know how you... Let's be honest. Richard is one of the richest crypto guys out there on the planet. Yeah. You don't think he knows these guys, or they know who he is, or what he's doing?
They do. 100%.
Obviously, they do. I mean, they're just not touching it until the SEC stuff is over because they can't legally. They have companies that have to respond to their investors. They can't touch it before it's not legally safe. Once that's happening, I'm honest. I think if PulseChain is mooning, all the big exchanges are gonna list it. Why wouldn't they? They make money off it.
You guys saw this, right?
You know,
chat.
Here we go.
I think that your whales are. There's probably some Binance people. CZ is probably one of the big players in PulseChain.
There was some wallet tracking done by the KSB admin guys today, and there's quite some PulseChain money already lying on Binance Web3 wallets. So just saying, again, no financial advice, no, but there's so many bullish signs that are coming together. That doesn't mean we're pumping from right now straight to the moon the next 3 months. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just look at the setup, look at the facts, look at what's happening behind the scenes, and then you can sleep definitely a lot better, even if there is a dip of 40%. For example, right now with Teddy Bear, I didn't give a fuck. I'll be honest with you. I was like, oh, it's dipping. I knew it's going to dip at 100 million because people see it as a psychological barrier. They're going to sell. They're going to take profits. Back at 84 right now. That's super strong for how much money people have made on that already, how much exits have been made. So I don't say it's going to moon to 1 billion tomorrow. Am I sure? In my opinion, personally, that it's going to at least do 1 billion. And that's for me very low, to be honest. Again, is there any meme coin that is connected to such a liquidity system and such a technology on any chain? No.
No.
So, yeah, man, what is there to be afraid of? So, in my opinion, again, we're in a very fortunate position. This might take a little longer than you guys think or not. Who cares? I hope also I can make this money and be in pDAI and just make my passive income from January or from February. But if it's June or July, who cares, man? I mean, let's be honest. This is a lifetime opportunity, in my opinion. Again, I'm bullish. You don't have to. Don't run and buy it. I'm just saying what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on the PRC20s? Which one have you looked into besides, like, obviously PRAP Bitcoin and pDAI?
You know, I've definitely gone through and looked at all the charts of the main ones. You know, Piave, Maker. I was. I come over here to my watch list. I've actually been tracking quite a few of them for a while. Well, let's see what Link's doing. And let's look at Link. I'm kind of curious. I just for me, I have to narrow my focus. So I spread myself in the Atropa ecosystem a little bit. So when it came to the P copies, I picked Pulse wrapped Bitcoin, and I picked pDAI, and I put more liquidity in those two, and just didn't do the rest. And I made, that was just what I did, just because I know my attention span. You know what I'm saying? And but they're all gonna do great. Yeah, I mean, you got a pretty strong triple top over here. This has really moved. I do think you're gonna have to have a couple of them get to parity, and then the rest will go for parity. So I think you're gonna see these do a more typical trading move. Oh, let me hang on. Let me see. Let me get a little closer here. Like these are gonna move more in the natural, I think. That's interesting. I still got some juice left in these. Let's see if it breaks through that resistance up there. But I think when Pulse Wrap Bitcoin or pDAI pegs, the rest will fly. So you could certainly take a position and start building some position in some of these to get ready for that, because they're still quite far behind. I was looking at, PI. Oh, let's see what happened here. Oh, whoa, shit. Okay. Yeah, they're doing great, man. They're doing great. So let me switch this over here.
Yeah, maybe all of them have a W chart.
Beautiful. Pretty like, they're all bullish, man. And you can see I had a line. I was watching under this. I took my eyes off them for a couple minutes, and then now they're just like, bye-bye. Oh, yeah, this is, they're all looking pretty bullish, man. Yeah, these are going to break. These are going to break out of here. I think when they're going to run really hard when something gets to parity, then it'll show that, hey, it's not just a meme or a gimmick. It's really happening. And then the rest will just fly. So maybe it would be smart to take a strong position in something else. But I mean, I took a really strong position in pDAI and Pulse Wrap Bitcoin. Pulse Wrap Bitcoin, I've been trading through the whole range, so I'd gotten to know it well and how it moved, and I enjoy that better than diversifying too much. You know what I mean? And then I accept the risks. I have gone heavy in some assets that have fallen apart. I've been rug pulled too, but I'd still rather prefer to have fewer and bigger positions than too many. But I think with some of these, like I said, Maker, Aave, Link, you're pretty safe in them in terms of if one goes to parity, the rest are going to fly. So you can certainly look at how many X's are left and jump in. Balancer, curve, compound, all those, because those are also part of the mechanics for our stabilizing die, the peg. So, I mean, those are all safe bets. And then there's a bunch of other ones, of course. You guys can go through and have fun. I think people have hunted through them already mostly and found the ones that are most undervalued. And I'm excited. Yeah, it's great. Good. That was the point, right? Let's see. Yeah, these are just the ones I was watching for a while. This is Pepe. They're all doing great. They're doing great. This is awesome. And this is what the Heartman had intended from the beginning. And I know he took a lot of heat because meme coins were running a year ago and everyone said, look, what's up with this P copy narrative bullshit, right? And but no, he's a smart guy. He knows it was all going to come to head. And the attention came when pDAI started running. And everyone went, wait a minute. Oh, no, Pulse Wrap Bitcoin might have been the one. I don't know which one set it off, but,
I mean, I would say pDAI brought the attention to the system first. And then P-Rep Bitcoin, once it started to really move, obviously brought also quite a heavy attention because it's a different story. If your P-Rep Bitcoin fork is worth 5 cents, or let's say rather $50, $100, $200 range, or if it's worth $2,000. Then you're already looking onto the chain where it's worth $2,000 because you're like, yeah, that's some free money for sure. So that effect's definitely happening. But also, again, I guess that it helped that people like you know, that do content consistently, were talking about it too. Again, Sami came on board with that too, and also FOMO'd it heavily and shielded heavily. That also helped.
Yeah,
it was like a chain effect of several things coming together to make right now P-Rep Bitcoin is one of the main horses, I would say, that's pulling this whole thing. In my opinion, the main horses are pDAI, obviously P-Rep Bitcoin, Teddy Bear, and Atropa. These four are the major horses to pull this. Obviously, in pDAI, you can include PUSDC and PUSDT as part of it. Kind of, it's the stables as a union, in my opinion. Don't
which
really
one? Which one?
PUSDC and PUSDT, and
okay.
pDAI
Let's
me
look
a
at those
one thing.
Yeah,
like the P stables, so to say, no. And then
Those
Atropa,
are the
Teddy, and P-Rep Bitcoin are the other three major horses to pull this up in value, the whole system. And it has been interesting to see the counterplay with the RH coins too, that have been now with eHex, for example. Since Maria has paired a lot more eHex to the Atropa system, eHex has gotten a lot more volume on PulseChain and has moved more. Plus, obviously, there's Alex, the Icosa guy, and Hedron guy, who's developing for a good while now a staking protocol for eHex on PulseChain. So once that's coming out, that's also going to help to pump it. Again, no financial advice. I think eHex is heavily undervalued, still at its price where it is. But everybody can figure that out for themselves if they believe it's going to come back or if they think it's dead. I'm team
Zach.
one.
What's up, Zach? G-Baby's good. G-Baby's looking really good. We were admiring it a minute ago. There's a link if you want to jump on. I don't know if he does. I've never seen it. Well, yeah, he does. Let's see. USDC is at parity with pDAI. Or I can't even read the thing. I'm gonna call it. Let's close some of these. Yeah. So this can't be the right chart. USDT Pulse 0.008. That's not right. Which one is this?
Yeah, that's all good. We're nearly at a cent with PUSDT. Look at the ratio of pDAI. There is a chart also that shows you the ratio between USDT and pDAI, which is the more important one. Is the ratio between the two, to be honest. Just to know, you can see the value.
I have it saved somewhere. I don't know. It's hard to find last time. USDT.
Here it is.
Oh, there it is now.
Yeah. Swap to DAI up there, so we see the ratio of DAI. And then you can see what I've been looking at for a while now, because we're looking still at rep pulse. No, yeah, against rep pulse. I think you still have to swap up there. Am I wrong? Yo, at the right. Here we go. We're looking at USDT now. Look at that. You see a double bottom. It tested the bottom again just a couple of days ago, and it has been testing it. If this flies from there, I'm pretty sure we're going quick to the parity, to the trinity that has been planned anyway.
So then this could be the move right now. This could be the play, man.
Let's say I've been doing that for weeks now, accumulating PUSDT. And if you want to play that, put PUSDT with pDAI in a liquidity, and you're making pDAI on the way up too.
Oh, man, that sounds like the play. Oh, if I didn't need to sleep, I swear, if I could just take sleep and eating out of my day, I would get so much done. Kingsway, what's happening, man?
The bull run is tough, dude. I'm working too at the same time, and I'm not sleeping that much. Waking up at 3 a.m, looking at my deck screener, smiling.
Well,
but it could be worse.
We're all geniuses right now, right? Let me look at
I guess genius is the wrong word, but dude, I mean, we all know we had to be strong believers. It was not an easy ride. But yeah, delayed gratification.
Oh, shoot. That was the wrong thing. Put him back there. So, sorry. What'd I do? Wait, hello? Oh, there you are. Okay, wait. Hang on.
You took me out and you brought Stack. Come back. Where's Stack?
Okay. Hey, what's happening?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, gentlemen? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hey.
You heard
you
somebody talking about P copies, and all of a sudden, all the you guys came out of the cryptoverse.
I feel like there's the echo somewhere.
Just mute your sound
There we go.
on the YouTube there.
How's that?
It sounds good to me.
There we go. We should be good now.
We can go back. OnlyFans. Herbert, you want it? I don't want to give my OnlyFans out to you guys. I feel like that'll just become a big mess if like my crypto audience comes over to my OnlyFans. All right, let's go look at G Baby. Oh, so what do you think? I want to do this LP for USDT to die right now. You think USDT is also going to go to parity?
I think so. I got a bag. I've been shouting it on X for quite a while, so.
I want to see really quick. What's this?
Maria's been calling it for longer than I have. You know, I just
Has she
been saying
been?
what she's.
Yeah.
Dude, always. She always talked about the 3 stables. Never said pDAI when she talked about it. Always the P stables. And she always mentioned it was the 3 of them. So that's why I'm saying if you listen to what he has been saying since from the beginning, nothing has changed. He always talked about Trinity.
The latest, I don't know if you guys probably talked about this already, but they said that they were going to buy a hell of a lot of Hex once PUSDT was $1.
I remember that.
Massively help the Hex community. They're going to set it into stakes that are going to last for like 500 months.
120 million, he said, yeah. That's what Maria wrote. Or I think at least 120 million of USDT wants to put into P-Hex. So pretty bullish for all Hex holders.
It's a lot of Hex.
Have you guys checked out the BFF yet?
Yeah. Yeah, we can go back and check it though.
Good.
Of course we did.
So
Oh,
I got a new job, guys. That's why I'm back in the United States now.
What?
I'm working. Yeah.
What are you doing? Didn't the Atropa tokens work out for you already?
Say it again.
Didn't all the Atropa tokens retire you already?
Dude, I gambled too much on Solana. I'm like an idiot.
Did you?
I swear. Yeah,
Are you a
I
meme
did.
coin degen?
I am a meme coin degen, bro. I've been in the Solana trenches since like the summertime, which is like the worst time to get into it.
How much did you lose in the Solana trenches? Just
You don't
tell
want
us.
to know. Bro.
Tell us,
You don't
man.
wanna
See,
know.
after hours.
Okay, maybe like I'll say a good amount of my pulse. I first got scammed on Ethereum,
shit.
right? So I got my wallet drained on Ethereum by joining a whale chat. So don't do that, guys.
What?
If I got my wallet drained in a whale chat.
What's a whale chat? Tell us so we
Like, people are
understand.
like, oh, let's all join up in this chat room. Do you have
Uh-huh.
a certain amount of tokens? Okay, like go to this and connect your wallet to it, and let's see if you have this many tokens.
Okay.
And those are like real things, right? And I looked it up; they are real, and people do have those sorts of chats. But the one
to
that I
verify
joined
you.
was a scam. Yeah,
It's risky.
But
Shit.
then after that, so I got scammed, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to try to like gamble to get my money back or something, you know? Because I couldn't stand to have that loss. And yeah, what I did was just continue to lose and lose on Solana.
Mhm.
And then I didn't really learn how to win on Solana until like the very end. So I did win pretty big on Solana, but I still lost a lot more than I won, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think
Sorry
that the
to
house.
hear that, bro.
Yeah,
It's
that
okay.
sucks, man.
And I still got BFF in my chamber. You know, it's good. I got G Baby now. That's a new one that really like helped my bag out a lot.
G Baby's looking good.
I bought G Baby at $1, and I told everybody about it at $1. So
I think I remember, and I was just like,
yeah, man,
took
I haven't
off.
sold any. I got a bunch still, man. I'm really happy with it. It's gonna go crazy. It's only 2 million market cap. Like what?
Sam, we talked about ST ETH earlier, and RETH and WS. I don't know W. We talked about all the ETHs much earlier. It's a good chunk. You'd probably find it if you go back. Soilana, Yeah. Well, there's money to be made, man, but it's brutal. It's trench warfare. Zach can contest
a
to
really
it.
big learning curve, you know.
Yeah,
for sure. You can't just be trading on Jupiter or wherever. You know, you got to get like a trading bot and like be fast in and out.
Yeah. So you like your new gig? You like your new setup in the States?
My first day, I get to start tomorrow. They put me at a hotel. They pay for my food. Yeah, it's nice, but I got to work 12-hour days, 7 days a week until the job's done.
Yeah, it's called a job. Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I got to be at work tomorrow at 6 a.m, so I got to get up very early.
Oh yeah, that's really damn. I've been going to bed around 6.
It'll be good because I can DCA now like $3,000 into PulseChain every week.
And timing is still good. We're still good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me, "Oh, am I too late?" I'm like, no, man. We've barely broken out. We haven't even gotten a SAC price yet.
Right. No, so I'm excited. I'm not like super depressed or anything. I know I lost it, but I lost it at a good time. I still have a chance to make it back.
Mark, I don't understand what you said. I just watched a Very Days video on Atropa ecosystem. Reminds me of Genesis, Let There Be Light. Okay, that's an album, music. What's a Very Days video? And then you said difference is being you guys break it down. In the West, we learn threefold chords: visualization, incubation, manifestation. But they never teach it. They just state, let there be light. Wow. What did I miss? Yeah, G-Baby. G-Baby's going to 14,000?
So it started at 14,800. And I think Maria was saying, you know, people that bought in at that price.
Yeah.
I think she asked people to like sacrifice their suspend prostitution coins at the beginning so that like, you know, it started at a certain price. And she's like, listen, I want everybody to be in profit. So like later on, the target price will be at this point because that's when people were starting to sacrifice their suspend prostitution coins.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was even like a bit of a dip up there at like 6,000 or something like that. People were buying it then too.
Yeah, I think it can easily get up there. It's only it's only a $2.5 million market cap. I think the art is great. 414. I love this vibe. It's great. You guys have seen my Saint hat. It's the same writing. It's very LA.
So the background I used for that is the city of Detroit.
Oh, you made this?
I didn't make the logo, but I just put the words on top of the city of Detroit.
It's great. It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. It's got great vibe. This, BFF, no nukes, which I'm pissed at Maria for taking it out. We need no nukes, right? We're on the verge of World War III, and she decides to wreck no nukes.
No. Somebody publicly minted it to her, basically, so it wasn't really a choice.
Oh.
There's somebody from the community.
Mark says, sorry to meant to say early Atropa. Atropa, the Wall Street crypto. Oh, okay, and that interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. Autocorrect has really been kind of like weird lately. Genesis in the Bible. Oh, from the Bible. It states, let there be light. Priests or your teacher in religious studies never break down the mechanics of let there be light. If you do, you kind of get 369. All right, right on. You have to visualize it, then incubate it, and then it manifests. Cool. G-Baby. Where's BFF? Yeah, BFF is amazing. If you have teddy bear, you should probably have BFF. I mean, I think this is going to run with the teddy bears, right? Like, I mean, it's like the Atropa developer's bear, and then you got the Heartman's bear. He's calling room service. What's he?
I was just telling my brother to hop on your crypto channel and watch on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We call it Divine Magic.
Tell my family to come watch.
We call it Divine Magic. All right. What else are we looking
BFF's
at here?
Is going to follow a lot of things now. I mean, BFF's going to get tied into the whole ecosystem at some point. It'll have an LP attachment to everything on the addresses.sol list in the Atropa GitHub. I think right now the main pairs.
Tell us about TSFI. What's the latest on TSFI? I've been holding TSFI for a year now, and I've lost touch with even what's happening with it.
People were about it at the beginning, and then it just tapered off. You know, because so many more coins were made, and that was just one of the very first ones, just like down in Teddy Bear, where Teddy Bear just kind of got the light, the shining light. You know, people were like, "Oh, that's like a great meme," you know. But yeah, TSFI, I'm sure can come back later on. I think people are just very invested in the DAI to a dollar thing. Like you can even see BFF has gone down a bit from a month ago or whatever compared to DAI, just because everybody's so interested in like getting to that dollar and talking about the dollar narrative, basically. But once that happens, I think that so many other tokens are going to fly in the ecosystem. Really, it's going to do so well for everybody.
Charlotte,
just because the DAI gains are secure, you know, and everybody can speculate on all the other memes now after that.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, I'm going to rotate, but you know, the question is, do we get there? We got to ask you the big questions, Charlotte. We got to ask him the questions. So. But hang on, I'll be right back. I'm going to go. You know, I'll be right back. 2 seconds.
For sure, bro. Yeah, the big questions are when and how long the bull market is going to last.
Okay, we'll answer.
But yeah, we got to get to that when you're back. What else, Zach? What are you doing besides that? What are you interested right now in PRC20 copies? What are your calls? I want to hear them.
So for your PRC20 copies, really just I'm just big in wrap Bitcoin really right now. Besides that, pAAVE, I know like the Aave compound and balance are going to be used. MakerDAOs should be voted. If everything goes the way I think it's going, then the Maker token is going to be very bullish too. I think comparatively from what the price is on ETH, there's a lot of excess to be had there too.
For sure, yeah. These four are pretty much...
I don't know, is anybody working on any other front ends for these?
Dude, only Maker from what I know. I mean, obviously Maker was done like in, I think it was 9 Iron with Conanstein. Also Koa, a friend of ours from the KSB group, has been pretty active in the Telegram group, the new one, and like investigating and helping. It's been a pretty big community effort to make the front end, and I was impressed by it. I was like, dope that people invest that much time for free into this. Obviously with the idea of kind of forcing Richard's action to vote. I already said earlier, I'm not sure if I agree with that idea, that it's going to happen because you make it. Like you put the proposal and he's just going to come in and say yes and then put the OA money in. I think it's a little too much FOMO, a little too much Kool-Aid right there. Yeah. I'm not criticizing these guys. I really appreciate, obviously, 9 Iron and Decentralized Me. I think they're great people that have been doing a lot for the community. But I also don't have to agree with everything they say. And in that case, I don't agree. I think it's going to take a little longer just because you want to get people selling at 10 cents and you want to get people selling at 50 cents that just want to extract out of the chain, not at $1, all of them, in my opinion. So if you do it so quick, you have an issue with people extracting, like Goddard Herman, you know, we all know who I'm talking about. He could just take still a ton of money right now.
Right, yeah, we wanted to slow climb it out, I think. We don't want to just pump it.
Yo, so yeah, man. That's my opinion to that. But all right, now your turn. You get the questions, brother.
I agree with you there, though.
Somebody asked you, what kind of work, Zach? Sam Horowitz is asking you. If you don't have to, obviously, it's up to you.
Data collection for electric vehicle batteries. Sounds kind of boring. I haven't started yet, but I'll figure it out tomorrow.
So, Tin Top, I know that channel, RKX. Yeah, he's interesting, man. Really interesting dude. I just time is limited lately. It's a lot of rabbit holes. Very cool stuff. So here we are, a year after most of us were kind of just tiptoeing into pDAI, into Atropa, and everything. With everything that's happened now kind of coming full circle, and now some of the biggest influencers are coming on board with pDAI. I mean, Somi's literally become a de facto pDAI channel now at this point. It's very cool, very exciting. But How do you feel? Like, where do you think we are on that right now? You think we're on the way to the pegging? Are you still the same conviction you had before in Atropa and pDAI? Or has something changed?
No, I have more conviction now, I think.
More conviction, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, things are getting closer and closer. There's like seems to be more and more evidence. Like these vaults are filling up like we want them to be. Yeah, there's a vote and everything like that. And it, I think maybe somebody's fucking with us a bit, maybe saying the things that they said on the maker vote. I don't know if it's Richard or not. Really, I can't say. But I think maybe like it could be somebody fucking with us, right? It could be.
I don't think it's Richard. Yeah.
But I mean, if it's not Richard and then somebody's not fucking with us, but it's still not Richard, maybe it's somebody from the team, or it's definitely just somebody wealthy, right? They have a lot of money.
It's not that much. It's like 15 mil for a whale who has like 100 million pDAI. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like a lot to me.
Yeah,
but I mean, it wasn't a lot back last summer. That wasn't a lot of money. You could have gotten 100 million pDAI for $50.
Crazy. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I don't think he would talk. Richard would say that phrase the way it was worded.
Right.
I think he would have said it.
Big supporter, you know, somebody is a big supporter, is a big whale in our community.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. And how do you feel now? Obviously, you know, we were all watching Decentralized Me's videos as they came out over the last 8 months. I know I was glued to each one and breaking them down, and I know you guys were too. Now we've done an interview and everybody's talking about it. How do you feel looking back at the work and the math and the mechanics and all that? Do you think that's correct, or do you think there's things missing? Or
he's a clairvoyant, I think. He called it before, you know, like before it was obvious to many people. You know, I think that was kind of what he was hoping was happening, and then he was like, wow, this seems like it is actually happening. And it seems like everything he said is basically coming to fruition. You know, whether or not the vote is happening, I mean, it is happening. Whether or not the executive vote happens soon or not, it's no big deal. I mean, the longer we wait, the better, I guess, to get the Jeets out, like Charlotte was saying. But yeah, besides that, I think like you know, Richard is watching everything we do. I mean, look at the fucking Binance post from today. Our pulse is pegged to the fucking, what did they say? Our pulse is pegged to Binance.
We were looking at this earlier.
Like, what the fuck? Who paid them to do that? Nobody. I think like they just know what's happening right now. I mean, the pegging thing is
just by chance. Is it for real?
This is not by chance. I mean, it's too close because OKX even made something on the same day.
Did they?
They posted something as well that was like similar. Yeah.
OKX.
Something about heart something they said. I forget.
OKX. Well, hi there.
OKX is what they said.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, so we already got to it. Okay. Oh, the heartbeat of cryptos. Look at that.
We have the community. That's the thing about
the heartbeat of cryptos. It's, dude. Oh, they're preparing for the Heartman's return, aren't they?
That's what I'm saying. But they both posted on the same day. Like
that is a little. Turns out my pulse is back to Binance.
Dude, wasn't it today or yesterday that it got announced which guy is going to be the new head of the SEC?
Yeah,
they did announce it. Yeah.
I mean, just think about that one. Just think about that easy connection right there. That's pretty much clear that the legal case, like I said earlier, is going to get dropped. All he's going to win. And then, obviously, why would not Binance and OKX list PulseChain if they do great green candles? Right. Why wouldn't they?
I don't think we're bullish enough.
Right.
I think that people on the inside know something's coming. And when this happens, gents, it's going to look like the XRP chart, but on steroids. Do you guys understand what that's going to look like?
Oh, my God.
Like, we're going to just have, like, eruptions of green, like, just God candles going all across the chain. I don't think we're like, I know what you mean. Like, this is a little surreal now. Okay, it's the heartbeat of crypto is its community. Turns out my pulse is pegged to Binance. And
Dude,
then
I
you've
mean,
seen
that was a
they're fucking
That
with the
was
pegging
so
infos. Really.
what? You guys are talking right at the same time.
Oh, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
And then you've seen
That
the
was
video
quick.
of the Heartman doing squats. Not squats. He was doing deadlifts. Dude, something's brewing, man.
Yep.
I'll say the anime very much like the animated post. No, what were you guys saying? You guys are both worried you're gonna talk over each other. Preparing for their
I was
turn.
saying, like, dude, like, I mean, let's say the OKX one, you could say it's not 100% clear, but that one with straight up the logo in the back of PulseChain and saying like the pegged. Why would you use the word pegged if you talk about Pulse? You know, and
No.
it doesn't. That's like
Yeah.
literally
They-
not a coincidence. There is no way this is a coincidence. So just logically, not talking like a FOMO boy or a fanboy here or a moon guy, whatever. I'm saying this is pretty damn obvious.
Yeah.
If you're not a retard, you see a connection, like pretty clear.
There's something here. Yeah, they could have said linked. They could have said attack. I mean, this is awesome. Turns out my pulse is pegged to Binance. Well, I mean, look. The truth is
And
also
who else in the crypto world is trying to peg things right now? Like in crypto, like
a lot of people trying to get pegged in crypto.
But we're pegging anything.
And then you
But
use the
look-
word pulse also in the
Look.
same sense and put the logo in.
Right.
It is too close, but also think of this. There's also an invested interest. Both Binance and OKX were big DAI holders, so they have copies, right?
And OKX did list PulseChain before, but they took us down.
Yeah, so they just have maybe they just have both big bags of pDAI.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, a lot of
They
people
want-
say like,
want the volume. Dude, they want the volume too. Is once there is this pegging, they know how much volume is going to go for that.
volume.
And you need the still need the centralized exchanges to cash in and out, so people need it. And
Uh-huh.
why wouldn't you list it if you make millions of dollars of it? Like, plus you have a pDAI bag, a PUSDT, PUSDC bag, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Oh yeah,
wouldn't
they
you?
have all the bags. Yeah. Michael Laughlin, the Trump nominated. He was the director of the Sense Foundation. That's true. I did read that.
Oh, that's crazy shit, dude. That is
Yeah.
a crazy coincidence. That's even crazier than I thought. I did not know that, but that changes things. Knowing that Richard donated a shit ton of money to them.
Yeah. There's a lot of stars lining up in a weird way. Like, no, CZ definitely respects RH. CZ's definitely one for decentralization. And I know that sounds ironic, but he really respects the work. I think Richard does and other people out there. Marketing team caught on the fact that they're lowers for the heart. Yep. Oh, so Zach, we were talking about. Do you think Hex could do a 10,000x again from the low?
Not this cycle, but in the long run. I don't think.
Oh, hi. We were talking earlier that speculating that it could do at least 1,000x or more, and it may be the next one to run. Because remember, there was this tweet from 2003, October 22nd, 2023, and the Heartman posted this, and then and look, I'm sure there's other clues. Hex on Pulse.
1,000x for Hex?
And then he put this
That would make
where he
it
highlighted
A lot of
die.
money. Yeah.
That would be
But I think-
$3. $3 a hex.
Yeah.
That's not completely insane.
Oh,
From the
$3
bottom,
Hex.
it was, yeah, that's $3 a hex. The real bottom was like 0.003, no? So yeah, it's like that's kind of realistic. I could do it, I think.
It could do that. I would say it could do $3. But yeah. 10,000x would be pushing it for sure.
$30, something crazy.
That would be something crazy for sure. I wonder what the price of like one BFF would be at that point, like $10 million.
The BFF target is 100,000, correct? No more.
I mean, the BFF, Maria said 1 million for.
She
BFF,
said 1 million.
like, yeah. She said 40K is next target after 8K, and then 1 million was the target after that. I mean, it's not the end of BFF, but
40K is going to happen in 2 seconds. So, and then after
$1
that,
million per token is like 750 million market cap.
That's nothing for if it's a solid meme in a bull run.
Right.
Like if we go into this like year of euphoria and all these conditions line up, that's very, very, very possible. Dude, that's crazy. That's just
so
crazy.
The thing about BFF is that it has the most percentage of its complete supply in burned liquidity pools, more than any other token in Atropa. It has more percentage of its supply in burned LPs.
It's amazing. That's awesome. I mean, look, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer play. How does it compare with Teddy Bear? Because they're both kind of bears, right?
Go look at the BFF / Teddy Bear chart right now.
Okay.
But some people may hate me for that.
Can you guys explain Enki? Yeah, somebody else was talking about Enki. Oh, it's a meme. Yeah. What's that? Why do you keep referring to Maria as she? Okay, because
it's for fun, guys. It's for fun. All right, just relax.
Yeah, because remember when we got into all this stuff, the person was a mystery, so we had already formed it in our mind. I think we all kind of knew it wasn't going to be a woman, but I had already formed a Maria in my head. I've done so many IRC chat videos and like hours going through, and it was a mystery person. And now obviously they've revealed themselves, but we had already been months in this like mystery world of like, going on chain. So we still say she. I always say she.
So yeah, it's the BFF teddy bear chart. So basically, if you bought BFF at any point, you can get more teddy bear with it now. I don't know if it'll continue to go like this, but I think it's like this because BFF came out later. Teddy Bear's got a ton of holders, right? There's like 30,000 holders in Teddy Bear. There's only 3,000 holders in BFF. So, I mean, there's just a lot more people that are ready to take profit, I think. But it shows on the chart.
Yeah, I don't see any reason this wouldn't keep gaining. So maybe BFF is a stronger play.
It's just because it's earlier, I think maybe long run Teddy Bear does a lot bigger of a run and goes for longer or something. Who knows, but I think BFF is just an earlier play, 10 mil.
Gotcha.
I think Teddy is a volume maker, no? If you look at how much volume goes through the Teddy pools, I think it has a different function for the system than BFF too. I also agree that I think it might BFF for a while outperform Teddy until Teddy goes, we would say that berserk, insane, God candle, whatever. Because I'm pretty damn sure that's going to be very quick, like in any meme coin, that there's going to be just an explosive movement. And then probably Teddy's going to outperform BFF for a while. In my opinion, if I would have to choose, I'd take both. I would be in both. I would take one or the other because you don't know when. You just don't know when what's going to happen. It's not going to be as clear.
The opposite coins, honestly. They're like the opposite things of each other. So Teddy Bear has like a quadrillion supply, right? BFF has like a super finite supply. There's only 777 tokens. There's gonna be a point in time where like nobody wants to buy like 0.00001 BFF, right? It's like becomes less and less of a novelty, I think, maybe. But with Teddy Bear, it's like there's always like you can have a billion tokens of Teddy Bear. Anybody can.
I had maps of the old maps from way back. And Bear is bonded to everything. It's bonded all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find him. so many.
Yeah, that's why I call it the volume maker. It just has so much pairings that there's so much volume flowing through Teddy. While BFF is not doing the same yet, but it's getting set up to have probably even a crazier liquidity. In the same from the burned part of it. Not necessarily crazy, but more burned, like Zach was saying. So I don't know which was the better play, but I agree that BFF has been a better play the last couple of quite a while now than Teddy. But I also said earlier when you weren't there, Zach, that I think Teddy Bear is also with Atropa right now are kind of undervalued from the 4 major Atropa assets, in my opinion.
It's crazy how many people are ignoring Bear. They don't. If they saw the maps and how it's paired across the chain, they would not. This would be much higher. This is ridiculous. But when it runs, it's going to be insane. Yeah. It's going to be crazy.
It's got the biggest community, right? So it's like that and pDAI are pretty much the 2 big communities, right? Inside of Tropa. And you got B-Roots and those guys that are on their YouTubes all the time, so that's an asset. If you're in Teddy Bear, that's an asset for you. That's what people look for. Is somebody going to pump my bag? Because most people don't want to go online and do anything, right? They want the price to go up. It seems like a safe bet. Most of the LPs for Teddy Bear, I believe, are like community ran, but they're pretty large, right? And they're printing in APR, so those guys are probably not going to leave those LPs because they're just making shit tons of money. Whoever's got those LPs set up, really.
And we'll have to do Dysomnia special. That's another deep dive. But BFF is some important use in the Dysomnia game. The volume on Bear is awesome. Hey, Francia, how are you? Zach, what do you know about Hammer Time?
Hammer Time, I was big on Hammer Time when it first launched because Maria said that they would give the user obnoxious powers over their enemies in the game, right? So whatever this game turns out to be, holders of the Discovery token, aka Hammer Time, will have quote unquote obnoxious powers.
Right.
Some of the biggest powers in the game will be for these holders, right? So who knows what that means or when that comes to life, but that's going to be one of the things that comes out, much later on, I think.
So I was watching this a while back.
Because this was attached to No Nukes, and when No Nukes crashed, it crashed everything, right?
Yeah.
So I did the deck screener for this too. I remember I made the logo for that. I forgot about that. That's like the straight up Discovery Channel logo. I just put the PLS sign in the middle. I think these 666 tokens are okay. I mean, like have like one token or something, don't buy a bunch of the supply. It's like they weren't meant to be good investments, and Maria's always said that in the chats. Like
she did.
She did. Yeah, they're not meant to be invested in those. They're for the game later on. If people buy up the supply, that just becomes a community token, and whatever the person who has the most supply wants to do with it, they're going to do with it.
Right,
it's not in the dev's hands anymore. Like BFF was launched, the dev had complete control, right? Had all the supply, and then now is adding and burning the LPs. That's like good centralization that you want to see. But when it's like comes to a 666 token, you'll see people with like 30% of a token. You don't know who that person is. I mean, they could just sell it any time, or have no plan for it whatsoever. So those are just something that you shouldn't be looking to buy yet. But there's some little tidbits of information inside the IRC or the previous one that talked a little bit about some of these, and Hammer Time was just one of the ones that she said was going to have some crazy powers.
Well, gents, I'm going on almost 4 hours.
Damn.
Yes, sir. It's been an epic stream. Chat, there's been some people hanging around for a while. It's great. Good morning, everybody here. Crypto Stylus, Clockington, Vera, Sigwolf. But what do you guys want to say as we close? Charlo.
For all the true believers here.
Yeah, tell us.
Golden times are ahead, in my opinion. I'm not worried about time. I'm just I'm just sit back and relax and do my regular life, enjoy it until I'm finally free of the rat race. And I can't wait for it, but I know, dude, patience is the game here. Conviction is the game. Information is the game. So if you're not trying to be a FOMO buyer, do your own investigation, check out the stuff. Really, there's so much open info. Thanks to people like Decentralized Me, Nine Iron Capital, Hodlonomics, so many people that have been working on this. And yeah, man, the info is out there. So if you have any critical ideas, you're a maxi, you're not convinced yet, you say this is complete bullshit, just go for it yourself. If you do blockchain reading, you will find some stuff. You will figure it out or not. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, again, run and buy stuff because you hear it from somebody. Do your research. That's my opinion. And for everybody who has done it, we're happy. We're happy people right now. So yeah, peace out. Great to be here, brother. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming by the after party here. Zach, what do you think? What do you want to lead us out with?
Yeah, no, definitely everything that Charles said, for sure. Like, do your own research into this, because there's a lot more than just what's on the surface. There's a lot more than what all the mainstream influencers talk about, right? Atropa goes really, really deep.
Really deep, yeah.
There's a lot of resources out there to look through or to ask for help from in a lot of different communities. So do that. But yeah, just hold on to your fucking bags, guys. Do not go to other blockchains and try to fucking gamble your way up to $1. It's not gonna fucking work out, man. Hold on to your PulseChain and buy more, right? Because I'm buying more. Next week I'm buying more. Every week after that I'm buying more. All right, like it's not the top when it looks like the top. Like there's everybody in the world that still hasn't heard about PulseChain yet, right? So we're so fucking early.
Yeah, I think everything's gearing up for massive upside. Cycle lows, I think, are in or just going to come in. This might just roll over and give us another scare, or we're about to just press right through 100K. Either way, it looks like we're in for an epic December. So get ready. We're just now approaching sack price. I mean, there's very exciting times ahead. Yeah, I mean, I think the exchanges know it. I mean, this isn't by accident. I think they know 2025 is going to be the PulseChain run. This is going to be Richard Hart's going to take over crypto, guys. Really. It's everyone will know. There's no one who won't be talking about the Richard Hart and what he's accomplished, because they see it happening. We're number 5 right now. Okay, we hit number 5. We've climbed all the way back up. We're at number 5. So epic things are coming.
Let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, chat, thanks for hanging out. It's an epic stream, gentlemen. It was awesome seeing you. Zach, come back again. Charlie, come back again for sure.
Great to be here, brother.
Anytime you see it, man. Door's always open. Just knock. All right. Night, everyone.
Peace.